Okay, yep. I started the stream. You've been warned.
Okay,
I
remember
done
the
it.
remember the rule. Only racism in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, true. We gotta abide by our own rules that we've set.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, hello,
I said
everybody.
we were.
Say the R&R, we aren't live.
It's
Say it,
Death
say it.
Note time. Death
Yeah.
Note. Ooh, episode 8 and 9. Things are getting heated up.
Alright, let me
Holy
post this
shit.
in
Like my burger.
service. There we go.
Oh, I forgot to put the link to the stream.
Well, I'll drop it in Unity's server too while I'm at it.
I don't know. This is probably all dead air.
What's dead air?
There we go.
Oh, we haven't
It
started yet?
happens. You know, you give people a minute to talk. A lot of people have a lot of people do, and I actually find this really annoying when I'm watching streams. They have like the intro screen with the music that goes on for like 10-15 minutes. I was
Didn't Lulu
annoyed
do
with
that for a bit?
What?
We had that for the Nightmare Before
Oh,
Christmas stream, right?
yeah, I still have it. I just haven't used it in a while.
Rangi just like shitting on it. Like, I hate people that do that. Lulu's like,
Yeah. Holy shit! Look! Whoa. Okay.
Well, yeah, well, I hate you, Lulu, for different reasons.
What?
How do I increase your guys'
It's because
voice?
I'm Gen Beta, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. You guys gonna have to do some Discord teachings. How do I increase your volume on my side?
You like? Are you on PC?
Yeah, I usually use my phone if I'm struggling.
Okay, so what you do?
Right
you
click
find
on us?
What you do? No. What you do?
You're gonna give me some
find a
meme answer. Lulu, answer the question.
Yeah.
You right click on us
Well,
and then there's a
you
little
did find the
scroll like that
virgin.
says user volume.
User volume.
Yeah.
Profile, mention, message, call, add note, add friend, connect, Spotify, listen along, apps, invite the server, remove friend, ignore, block. I don't see it.
What? Oh, no. You have to right click us on like our profiles like wait.
Oh.
Yeah,
It
like
says you're at
call,
100. It says you're at 100. Why is it so quiet? I don't know. Maybe I'm going deaf. I'm getting old.
I think my mic might be quiet. I don't know.
I think it might just be my computer. I usually do this on my phone, but well.
Yeah, Discord can also sometimes it's just really fucky with audio.
Yeah.
I suck at audio. I always messing stuff up, and my microphone sucks. It cuts out a lot.
Don't get me started on audio problems.
Yeah.
How come in your videos you have like two like you like swap between two mics like?
No, it's the same mic.
Oh, why does it sound like insanely
I
different
don't know.
things?
I don't know. It just randomly does it, and then I do sometimes a bunch of retakes, but like sometimes it gets just like stuck in a certain mode, and like no matter how many times I retake it, it just stays like that. So then I'll move on, and then it'll switch again. I'm like, Jesus Christ! So like a lot of times I just settle. I get frustrated, and it's just the audio in my video never sounds good. Last time I was particularly lazy because I was sick. I'm like, fuck this. I'm just gonna keep it what's like legible. It was not my best work. The last one. Usually, I mean, there's always a little bit of audio fuckery in my videos because it's just my mic's frustrating. But like the last one was just particularly bad. I'm like, probably should have did more work, but I was sick and I just said fuck it.
You have been getting more videos out though.
Well, that's part of it too. Is just like it takes so much longer to like keep constantly redoing the audio because it like fucks up like 9 times out of 10. So I have to do like 10 takes for like every take that like actually sounds decent, and it's just like so agonizingly slow. If for some reason, like when I'm streaming with you guys, it doesn't like do it as bad. I guess it's just it might be iMovie. Honestly.
Discord has some. One of the things I will say about Discord, it does have some decently like. A lot of its audio settings and presets tend to like for example, it's really good sound canceling a lot of the time. Sometimes it just decides not to work, but you know.
I think the problem is probably iMovie, is the microphone works a lot better on Discord.
Oh, you're using iMovie? Okay, that might be why. Because
Yeah,
even I know
a
like
pretty
things like
shitty
iMovie
platform.
are pretty. Yeah, yeah. The that's the big thing with videos. And that's why one of the reasons I'm so hesitant to not just to transition from videos to or from streams to video is because I want to actually know how to do it.
I need to learn a
Right.
new what's it called
What do you? Oh, actually, let's not talk shop because that might be boring to viewers. For now,
yeah. I mean, we'll
you
talk
know
later,
what
but yeah,
you know what is easy to use and user friendly? The Death Note.
Netflix. Oh,
The death. I don't know, man. There's a lot of rules.
oh, dude,
Not
that we'll
really.
get there. But one of the rules is just really funny. It's just like I don't know if you guys actually like read them, but I always write them
I
down
do,
and like
yeah.
yeah, one of the rules is just like we'll get there or get there, but like Jesus, that's just a random rule.
Yeah.
But
Wait, I saw a
but
really interesting one I want to talk about. I saw a rule that was like, oh, like that they haven't mentioned
You want to do it
before.
when we get there, or do you want to do it now?
I don't I don't think it's really important to the plot right now. It might be later.
Well, usually they're foreshadowing. Sometimes there's some silly ones, but usually they have
Yeah.
merit.
Well,
Which one was it?
it talked about the Shinigami's.
Hmm? I have them all in quotes. You want 15,
Uh
16, 17, or 18 title
it
card?
said I'm trying to remember. I don't remember what episode it was. Maybe like 9. But it said Shinigamis. There's two ways Shinigamis can die, but they don't know what it is. Like they don't know how.
Is it a god of death cannot be killed, even if stabbed in his heart with a knife or shot in the head with a gun? Which maybe if you
Yeah,
stab him in the
it's
head or shoot him in the heart, that'll work.
well, that
However, there are ways to kill a god of death, which are not generally
I was
known as
gonna
options.
say, I was
yeah
gonna
that
say,
that.
Iron, don't talk about that.
Yeah, I know that you will find out
If
what that is at some
Ryuk
point.
dies, I'm quitting. I'm rage quitting.
I'm
I'm
pretty
not
sure he never
watching.
died. As far as I remember, I don't think he dies.
Bruh,
I
stop it,
figured
Rangi.
I You're
Rangi
spoiling it,
doesn't die.
but
It's still a spoiler, retard. Yeah,
it's okay
anyway.
though. It's okay.
Well,
I
we're
Um,
figured
talking about
I
something else.
figured if
yeah.
I if I figured if Ellen Light die, then he'd probably be the one character that would like carry over to like whatever the new characters are like introduced. I think. I don't know. I'm assuming.
No
Well,
comment.
no comments.
But yeah, for this, we are talking about episode 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Totally
What?
10 once Iron goes away.
What? I mean, if you guys want to
That
do
would
10
be
without me, that's
funny.
fine.
No. We'll do
I
10
don't really
next
care.
week. We'll do
Yeah,
10,
yeah,
11, 12.
I was considering asking about it, but since we're
No, I mean,
planning
if you guys
to do
want to do
10
it,
next
feel
week.
free. I mean, that episode is like not a particularly like noteworthy one. I mean, there's fun stuff in it, and you guys not like you
Yeah.
haven't done it before. You did episode 5 of Zom 100 about me. So
Well, we'll see how long it takes for us to get through 8
How
and
do you
yeah,
9.
like I
how do
said,
you
if
know
you
the
guys want to,
exact
if you
episode?
what? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say when we finish 9, if you guys want to keep going, like feel free. Like don't wait up for me.
Yep. But yeah, for now, let's go with the start of episode 9. Also, Iron, how are
I
you
mean 8.
feeling, by the way? You said you were
I'm a
feeling
little
sick earlier.
yeah. I'll probably be sniffling and coughing, but like not as bad as I was a month ago. I had like pneumonia or something. This time it's just a
Oh,
cold. Yeah.
Okay, well, we did say I did write that you would get AIDS, so it makes
Oh
sense
yeah.
you're
No,
immune to
It's
it.
no. You
coming
wrote Super
true.
AIDS. I remember it was Super AIDS.
Yeah, Super AIDS, it's not the fastest way to kill someone, but it's
Well,
effective
I mean,
sometimes.
AIDS isn't even fatal anymore. I mean, like, there's a whole South Park episode about that. Like, the cure to AIDS is money. Why Magic
Yo, we
Johnson
got the
didn't die.
South Park reference.
Oh, we got it out of the way quickly. Oh, dude,
Nah,
that's such a
there'll
funny
be more.
episode. He's
There'll
like,
be more.
it's like, it's like, like, how come Magic Johnson didn't die yet from AIDS? He's like, I don't know, but like, he's like swimming in piles of money. He's like, whenever I lay in this pile of money, it makes me feel better.
But yeah, so we open on episode 9 with
8.
the detectives and L
You
talking
keep saying
about
9. We're on episode 8. Episode 8 is
eight.
there.
My brain is on episode 9. Okay.
Well, we gotta talk about 8 first, dummy.
No, well, okay. We start with episode 8 because I was talking about episode 8, but yeah, we start with episode 8 with the detectives talking about basically what they figured out is it's tied to Ray Pember, like the leak with well, not the leak, but uh the
You gotta
the
say it
point
like the
of the
Japanese
FBI
do.
that failed.
Ravenba.
Ray
Great
Pember.
Penma.
I do love how they. No, it's funny too. If you actually look at all the like American names, some of them are really funny. It's like it's it's like a lot of them are like the equivalent for American names if you put Honda Mitsubishi or whatever. Honda Suzuki. Like that level of like name, but just the American equivalent. I some of the names with the FBI agents are really funny.
Yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, they've figured out at least that it's tied to Ray Pember. And so yeah, they've been looking at the footage to the point where Ella's like, yeah, show me the footage specifically about Ray Pember, the ticket gate, riding the train, and then dying.
Right.
And by the way, this is one of those ones where I feel like no, he did keep his distance a good bit. So, well, except for when he approached in the mall, I feel like this is one of those things where I feel like Light probably should have been picked up.
Burger required. Where are we at?
Oh
But
my god.
what?
I
Stop
gotta get my
giving me
burger.
your money. Granola gave
Oh, you're
$5, said
responding
this
to the
channel is
chat.
peak. Thank you, Granola.
We all know
Granola.
it's all because of Rangi's here, right, Rangi?
I
No,
mean, I am the best host. It is
totally.
true.
I have to stroke his ego. It's all right.
I, I,
What?
I was farther back, and you put on the starting soon screen because I didn't have the thing. I didn't have the stream open earlier.
Uh,
Also, one of the things I hate with YouTube always
huh.
starts with the top chat rather than the live chat. You can't choose your default chat
Yeah,
for
I hate that. It's
when you
so
enter.
dumb.
What part of the episode were we on? I walked out.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was talking about where the detectives are discussing uh Ray Pember and the events leading up to his death. They seem to have pegged him as the the source of basically I guess the leak. They've figured out that he's the one to pay attention to of the FBI agents.
Hmm.
You get them summing up like the events before his death. And I'm wondering because
Mandrillion.
they mentioned the cameras were blurry. I'm wondering if that's not a thing that Light could control with the Death Note, so if the cameras would glitch or not.
I don't know.
Bro.
Oh.
Iron, I knew that was you that did
Hello?
that.
What?
Hello?
Mandrillion in the chat
Guys?
said Iron is a
Hello?
dumb monkey.
Oh, who said that?
I don't know,
Hey,
man.
Hello?
that's slander.
Rangi,
Find
are
that
you here?
person and beat him. We lose
Hello?
Rangi?
I think he's
I
having
think we
Oh,
did.
technical
okay. I can hear
difficulties.
you.
Oh.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, we lost you temporarily.
Yeah, it's something with this new headset, uh, where sometimes it just decides to turn itself off.
Oh.
And I haven't figured out why it does that yet.
Death Note.
True. Somebody wrote in the Death Note that I'd get a shitty headset before I died.
Yeah.
But
Who
yeah,
was taking point? Rangi, right?
I was trying to, but yeah, what was the last thing I said?
No
That
idea.
they're looking into right Benbar.
Rape and
Yeah, I was talking about Ray Pember, and yeah, basically the events of right before, and I point out like, oh, they mentioned like the NA camera footage. They had camera footage that kind of showed, uh, that kind of showed that somebody was there, but it was blurry. I think that's something they said. Let me.
I think it's the they couldn't. He wasn't like in view of the camera, but it looks like Ray Pembar was like looking at someone.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
something like that. And yeah, they pointed out like, oh, he's holding an envelope, but it disappeared when he stepped out and he died. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
what like leads it. But yeah, basically they're talking about the specific events and analyzing that aspect of it. And actual and is there anything to say about that aspect of it? Because I feel like going into the exact details of how they discuss it, I think it's easier to just talk about like what do all of us think about this scene in
One thing
general.
I thought was pretty cool is that like the visual of how like usually a lot of shows will like keep the animation the same throughout, but like they give them all like 5 o'clock shadow and stuff. I thought was like a neat detail to show that like how tired they all were. Like
Well,
this is like
this works into some other stuff that's said later too
how he's like not
in the
sleeping
episode.
anymore.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, you're talking
I
about
was
their
talking
eyes?
about when
What?
yeah.
All the characters' eyes, so they all have like eye bags
Yeah, they have
now.
like bags around them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they all look really
Specifically L.
exhausted. Well,
Yeah.
except Al always looks like that though. That's
Yeah,
the funny
L's the
thing.
only one who's
But
not animated differently.
they like
Yeah, Al looks
overdid
exactly
it,
the
I
same he
think.
did before. Everybody else looks just exhausted and a little bit unhinged.
Yeah.
Alfred makes them all ice cream to
Yeah, I
perk
love
them
how
up.
they're
Yes, they
Alfred.
are already doing.
Alfred. Oh my god,
But
croissant
yeah,
emoji.
they're kind of going over, and Elle explains exactly why he's like focusing and on Ray Pember, and one of the big things about Ray Pember is that he had
The wife,
he had the
fiance.
well no the big well they learn about that part later, but the big
Okay.
thing was like with this footage, yeah, he had the first off, this whole like trip he took was really unusual, but second of all, like the envelope,
Well, the trip
the
he took was
envelope.
longer than the total route of the train.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that it? Yeah.
Like, yeah, because the whole like I think L says like the entire route of the train takes an hour and
Only
a
takes
half, yet
1
he
hour.
rode it for an hour and 40 minutes. What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said it takes an hour.
Okay.
Yep. You see, Iron is better at taking point. I'm not great at, but you know, he has to keep getting sick because he has super.
I mean, I can take point. It's just I didn't take as good notes as I usually did, but I still took
That's
pretty good
okay.
notes.
Okay. But
I
yeah,
never take notes.
I mean, I'm the one who never takes notes too. That's also it.
I
I
haven't
only
taken
take notes
notes
for
since
my
our
school
very
experiments.
first stream.
You want me?
Good.
Do you want me to take point?
Notes are overrated.
Yeah.
I can take point if you want.
Imagine being prepared.
If you want.
All right.
Uh,
I'll let Rangi
yeah,
finish this scene, then I'll take point.
yeah. I
Okay.
was gonna say yeah. So the things they noticed specifically about it are the envelope and how long he was on the train.
Yeah. And also he points out that like, oh, when he dies, he's clearly looking at someone. And then he's like, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if Kira was on the train, even though he didn't need to be.
Yeah, and well,
So
this is the interesting thing. I think this is L is profiling Kira, and his profile is like, no, if he did some kind of grand gambit, Kira would want the person he's outplayed to know it was him before they died.
Yeah, he said it's
yeah.
odd for Kira have to return to the scene of the crime, but like he says that like might fit like his profile as Rangi was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, what's interesting too, L seems to be like almost like he's also setting it up so that if basically setting it up as like, yeah, it wouldn't make sense for that to happen. But it's like clear. I think it makes it pretty clear he believes that's what's happening because he brought it up.
Yeah, a lot of he does it a lot where he'll think something is very unlikely, which makes him want to look into it more because he thinks like the unlikeliness is a coincidence. That like because Kira does all this very differently how normal serial killers will. So like he actually kind of like he's like it makes him more intrigued when like things seem like too perfect or too unlikely. Then that's when he wants to look into it. Is
Yeah.
he's often right to follow that hunch.
Yeah, yeah, and with this, it's like it is like he even like almost presets his like own like counterpoint of like, but all Kira needs is a name and a face.
Hmm.
So why was he there? But uh, yeah, that's the interesting thing with that whole scene is like, it's L is able to put this much together. It's clear he has other like thoughts on the matter already,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but he's not quite yet ready to share them. And
Yeah,
it might be because they aren't as likely. It might also be for another reason that we learn.
yeah, he tends to keep his hunches to himself, at least at first, and then he'll usually share them after he kind of ponders or looks into them more to the other detectives. That's kind of how he's been operating so far.
And to be fair, the big point I think is because it's gonna have something to do with the people Ray Pember has been investigating, and he
Well, yeah,
probably knows
it's a
it.
very awkward proposal he's going to make, an almost indecent one. If you catch the joke.
Yep, yep. And we also learn after this we cut to Light. And do you want to take over, Iron, or?
Yeah, I can. You'll have to fill in some more gaps than usual because I wasn't prepared to take point, but I still took notes. So anyway, Light is writing out names long in advance of their death sentences as insurance in case he gets hospitalized or something, so the deaths don't stop while he's incapacitated, which shows a lot of foresight on his part. And Ryuk states in response that he's never seen someone use a death note like this. That like he's never seen someone use it as an insurance policy in case he needs an alibi.
Yeah.
But Ryuk also points out himself that there's no point for a Shinigami to use it that way.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure he remarked it. He actually didn't know you could use the Death Note this way either because a Shinigami never would. Like it's like
Yeah,
Light
yeah,
keeps
yeah.
finding ways you can use the Death Note that Ryuk wasn't aware of because he uses it in
Yeah.
ways that like a Shinigami wouldn't even think to use because it
I
just
think
wouldn't be
Yeah,
relevant.
I think that's what makes it fun for him though, because it's like
Hmm.
at this point, I forget they say it. They say like he's had the Death Note for like 4 months, so like
Yeah.
obviously Ryuk hasn't really gotten bored yet. He's still like intrigued and constantly like
Hmm.
shocked. So
Yeah, Light continues to impress him, and then
yeah.
we'll soon find out that L will be also impressing him. So now he's gonna have two people impressing him going forward.
Yeah.
It just doubles the fun for him. He's like, oh, now there's two of them. This is getting out of hand. Now there's two of them. And then there wasn't really much more because it was a pretty brief scene with Light, right? It cuts back to L after a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add on to that scene?
yeah. I think the idea of this is it's meant to break up the tension of
Yeah,
that scene. It's
because
very
then
and it's
because then you get all the reveals of what L's kind of been up to with these meetings and thought processes.
well, but
Um,
also this is also I think it's kind of set up for what's about to happen because we
mhm,
know Light is
yeah.
going to learn something is.
Oh yeah, he gets a phone call. Also, I love how L holds his phone. It's just so funny. He dangles it next to his ear. I like all his
Yeah,
little quirks.
El does everything he does in such a weird, awkward way that doesn't
He's the
seem
definition of
quite
quirky. Like
normal.
every single thing about him is a quirk.
Well,
Yeah.
this is something I like, and especially comes up in episode 9, I believe. But uh, L and Light, their roles in the story, as far as the societal roles, Light is the bad guy. There's no mistake, he's
Yeah,
the
well,
bad
yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
protagonist doesn't mean morally
Yep.
righteous. It just means you're the main character. Like Thanos is the
But
protagonist of Infinity War, even though he's also the bad guy, just because he has
the,
the
the
narrative
interesting
follows
thing
him.
with the interesting thing with that is it almost flips the normal good bad dynamic as far as appearance on its head, where Light is the bad guy and he looks very well kept, he looks very
Yeah.
organized, he looks very orderly, and then you have L.
I think this is a
This
bigger deal in a
little
Japanese society because
yeah.
there's a lot of American stories where there's the evil businessman and then a plucky underdog from the hood or a poor neighborhood or
That is
whatever has to
true.
take on the evil corporate man, right? Whereas in
Yeah.
Japan it's a lot those type of people are a lot more idolized than they are in America, or at least when this show was made anyway.
um
Uh,
Somewhat, the evil businessman is a trope in anime as well,
Sure, but my point
but
more so is in Japanese society, those type of career paths are more revered than they are in America. Like in America, it's more seen as working for the man, whereas in Japan, it's an honorable thing to do to provide for your family by working in a big
uh,
business in Tokyo or whatever.
a lot of L's aesthetics are very reminiscent of the hikomori sort of archetype,
Mm,
which hikomori basically is a shut-in type, a bit
got it.
a neat, not in
Uh,
education,
which
trained.
which is an interesting juxtaposition compared to what his occupation is and his background.
Well,
Not a
the
typical
funny
of a
thing
neat.
is, guess what show I could bring up that has the aesthetic that I'm talking about them flipping on their head. Zom 100.
I was gonna say, I think, yeah.
Now, yeah, the villain of Zom 100 was this neat guy, and
Hmm.
uh,
The hero was the corporate worker.
yep,
Yeah.
so you are right in a way, but very interesting. Light is like this well groomed like guy. He's very clearly
He's
like
good. He's good looking. He's charismatic.
he's good looking, he's clean, he's charismatic, he has good posture.
Yeah,
He's
good
kind
social
of got
skills.
good social skills. He's got like everything kind of go. He's athletic, that's another
Mhm.
thing. And then L, if you look at him, he's got really bad posture. He looks like this little gremlin, man.
Yeah. Which is it,
Yeah.
it is kind of interesting that like Light basically the only thing L has over Light is morals, or at least
Yeah.
a better sense of justice. Because like L's morals are kind of sketchy too, but they're definitely like heads and shoulders above Light's.
They're
Yeah.
both willing. They're both willing to cross the line to an extent, but where they draw that line that they're willing to cross is very
Oh
different.
yeah, I mean Light's line is way, way, way further than most normal people's. He is a sociopath. I don't think I would call L a sociopath, and if he is, he doesn't act on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I'm kind of
L is Light is a
What are you gonna say,
sociopath
Lulu?
in like the traditional sense. Oh,
Yeah.
I was
Sorry,
going to
Lulu. What were you
say
gonna
I
say?
wonder like okay, so obviously don't answer this cuz it spoils it, but I'm assuming at like some point eventually Al will figure out like about the death note. And I'm always curious cuz we always talk about like his morality versus like Light's morality. I wonder like if the question is brought up like if L had the death note dropped to him, like what would he have done with it? And that's like a question I've always been thinking about since since this character was like introduced basically. And I'm like
that is a
wondering if
good
that ever gets
question.
answered.
Well, I guess we'll find
It
out.
doesn't. It. I don't. mm,
Right, he stops like giving confirmation or not. The, the, just because if something doesn't happen, you don't want to tell him he doesn't happen because then it ruins the suspense. You gotta like
Yeah, true.
yeah. You tend to do that. Like you won't and that also gives it away too, because if you only tell him
Not
when it
revealing
doesn't
anything
happen,
reveals something.
yeah, because then when you don't say anything, that confirms it because you always tell him when it doesn't happen. So
mm,
you confirm it for him
well,
either way by
you know,
your action patterns.
alternatively, I could start making up stuff that happens.
You could, but
No, no,
that doesn't help
no.
either. just, just say no comment and move on.
Damn, that's the boring answer.
Yeah, it's boring, but it's a better watching experience for Lulu.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so L receives a lot of information that's pretty relevant about Ray Pembar's fiance, and then like all the gears start spinning, and he like starting to connect all the dots, and he's just he kind of he that phone call kind of is like the missing puzzle piece he needs that leads him to make a drastic action he otherwise might have not been willing to do without that missing puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Like they call and say that his wife or fiance has been missing, right? That's the word they use.
Yeah.
Which
Yep, and this is obviously Naomi. Me,
yeah, Naomi.
Sora.
That- Yeah, they name
Yeah,
drop her, right? Yeah, and then he kind of
yeah.
like
They
he
give her
he
name.
slowly recalls her. Yeah,
I
like
can't.
because he worked with her
I
in the
can't
past.
believe they doxed her.
Yeah. How
Well,
could
he already
they?
knows who she is. Um,
I know. I'm
she literally
joking.
worked for him in the past. He just
Yeah.
forgot.
I I like
Elle's worked with a
No,
lot of
I'm
people.
El's
joking.
I
Yeah.
like El's
Yeah.
realization though, because he's like, oh, missing, and then he like remembers who
Mhm.
she is, and then he's like, oh, she's cooked. Kira got her.
Yeah, he's like knowing the type of woman she is, she wouldn't just like kill herself in suicide because that's like one of the other
Yeah.
detectives floats that idea. And he's like he kind of shoots it down pretty quickly, saying like she wouldn't do that. Like Kira probably got
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah. Well, the
So
interesting thing
this
too,
leads
they
him.
mention she's missing. They don't mention she's like been found dead. So
Well,
either
because
her
I
body
don't
has,
think they found her dead yet, right?
yeah, Yeah, it's like her body clearly wasn't found, and that's like an interesting detail because
Yeah,
the
where
big
did Light tell her to kill herself? Somewhere like far, like he didn't tell her to kill herself in her house, right? He probably said do it in the woods or something.
well, especially because they were in a hotel room, so she couldn't have been there. I think it had to have been like in a forest or something.
Yeah,
I don't
because like
remember exactly.
yeah, I don't know if they yeah, they probably tell you. They usually tell you all the details, but I don't remember because we watched this. This is one of the problems of watching it so far out between each other is that the little details will become hazy. But yeah, I'm assuming he had her kill herself somewhere quiet because like there's no way she could be missing if she killed herself in the hotel room. Like the house cleaning person would see her like the next day.
It turns out she was the body that was it Jake Paul or Logan Paul found it.
Oh God, it was Logan Paul. There's like a conspiracy theory that that wasn't a real body and he did that for
I
like
know Burger
viral
believes
infamy.
it.
I don't, but like I mean, it's not the craziest conspiracy theory I've seen. I just think he's just that
And
dumb.
Isn't Japan notorious for people like killing themselves?
Yeah, it's the
yeah,
highest
you know,
suicide rate in the world. It's like
Yeah.
number
well,
two is
it's
I don't think
because
particularly
suicide
close.
exists within Japanese culture to an extent.
As a kamikaze,
Harakiri,
you
seppuku,
dishonor your
Yeah.
and
family.
all
Now I
these.
must fly plane into boat.
Well,
Right.
there's
Right.
like
That's
different
pretty
reasons
It's
for
pretty
okay.
dark.
which
They have like the third largest population. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, there's a long-standing culture with
Yeah.
like
No, I was
killing
kidding, but
yourself out of
yeah,
dishonor. Like there was the
with
kamikazes in World War II. There was
pilots,
like
samurais. Yeah.
seppuku for the samurai. Yeah,
Yeah.
Japanese businessmen will like
Harakiri.
jump off of the buildings. Like it just changes
Yeah.
forms throughout the time.
Yep.
Yeah, South Park
It's
in
one
the
of
South
those
Park
like
episode,
unfortunate
they
things with
make fun of that.
yeah, it's one of those unfortunate things within Japanese culture that's
Yeah, it's just the pressure to perform or is like immense, like that we can't even like compare in
yeah,
our
that I was
culture.
gonna
And
say
like
that's another big factor is is the highest teen suicide rate because a lot of it is because of the like pressure to perform in school
mm,
and stuff.
yeah, it's
And
just I
that's
mean
not
top down, it's a very tough society, but they are very work hard, play hard. Like Japan likes to have a lot of fun. They aren't like
Yeah.
that's why a lot of their game shows are like super wacky and they're like their bars and casinos are a lot of fun because they need outlets for their stress because they work insanely hard all the time.
Yeah.
mm, well look when you're
Anyway,
working Akira's job you need
yeah,
a
yeah. So L reveals that Penbar was tailing Detective Yagami's family, and pretty sure
it,
this is the same scene where he floats the idea of like bugging the houses of those that Ray Penbar followed, right?
Oh
That's
yeah.
Yeah. There's two people that there's two specific families he was following, which was
yeah.
which
The other
was
one was like
Deputy Director General Kitamura, which is basically their boss, and and yeah,
we
uh,
never meet that character
Detective
though, right?
Superintendent Yagami. That's the names he specifically says. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, Detective Yagami and his boss. It's like
yeah.
that's
Because
the
well,
awkward
Detective
thing.
Yagami, he's not like an ordinary detective, right? He's like the chief of
Oh yeah,
police.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a detective superintendent. He is like
Well, a lot of
they
characters will say
they say
chief, but
his
he's not. His,
yeah, he is Detective Superintendent Yagami.
Yeah.
Mhm. But I mean, the title is equivalent to police chief, like if for like an
Yeah,
American position.
It'd probably
yeah,
be.
or
Wait, I'm trying to think. So in America, it's officer, detective,
Captain.
sergeant, lieutenant, uh, dep. Wait, captain, and then like deputy chief, and then chief. I think. I'm
I
trying
mean, there's
so hard to
different.
remember. So I feel like
I mean,
he'd be
different,
he'd be
different.
either like
Depending on how big the police force is, there would be more or less positions.
yeah. So
Like
he'd probably be
like
like
a.
lieutenant. I feel like he'd be lieutenant probably because he still has a boss to
Give
answer
me
to,
a.
right?
I
Yeah, but
was
I mean,
gonna say
the
I'm.
cap
Yeah.
the police chief has to answer to the police commissioner. So like, there is
Yeah.
like higher ranks in chief. So like, he could be the chief of police, and then his boss would be the
Okay,
commissioner.
so the way it goes, it's Commissioner General,
Hmm.
Superintendent General, Senior Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner, Superintendent.
Okay.
So what would he be like? He would be like a captain. then?
Yeah, he's like a
Okay.
local police captain. Like he's the
Okay.
captain
Okay.
of this specific
Yeah.
precinct.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
or rather the detective uh
a
bureau or
detective. That's
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's like
I just knew he was the boss of like whatever branch he was in.
yeah. I
Anyway,
went and looked up Japanese law enforcement. Just
yeah,
to
it's like
check.
we've been giving in very in detail about like
Yeah. I don't
Japanese
think it
suicide
really
culture and
does not
Japanese police
matter.
culture. No, it doesn't. It's like it's always fun to see like what random tangents you'll like go down a rabbit hole in. I mean, I feel like that's part of the reason people watch podcasts.
Oh,
It's different from an
Yeah.
ordinary review where like
oh, it's
things kind of take a turn sometimes.
Wikipedia has a comparable military rank
Interesting.
section on the table, and the comparable military rank is lieutenant colonel.
Okay. So, Ryuk, uh, so, um, then it goes back, Light and Ryuk, right? Before going back again to L and the detectives. Because this is when you get the joke where Ryuk says that Light being skilled with his hands probably makes him pretty popular with the girls. I'm like, I
Yeah.
wrote laugh my ass off. I have no memory of this line, but it's a certified classic.
Yeah. I also love how Ryuk's like, or not Ryuk, sorry, Light's like, oh, I don't, you're probably not popular, are you? And then Ryuk's like kind of offended.
Yeah, because Light
Like,
says that
oh, how
it's
could
your
you
looks
say
that
that?
count, and then he cheekily remarks that Ryuk is probably not very popular, is he? Which implies that he's ugly.
No.
Which is
That's-
confirmed later when all the other Shinigami also think he's ugly. I'm like, damn,
They're,
Lu's not gonna like that.
they're
I guess by
so
Shinigami
mean
standards,
to
he's considered
him.
ugly.
It's
They're
funny
mean to
too because
him.
his reaction is like, "Eh, like
Yeah.
what?"
Which is also funny too that like it goes to show that like beauty standards are like different in like different cultures. Like, cause like honestly, he's probably like the least ugly Shinigami in the whole show, and like they all consider him to be the most ugly. So maybe it's like some bizarro
Yeah.
logic where like the more ugly you are, the better looking Shinigami you are.
True. Well, it's funny when we get the Shinigami scene too because they're all kind of like, "What the fuck is Ryuka doing?" Well, a lot of people are
It's
getting
like what
like
the dog doing.
interested. Yeah,
It's literally
they're
what the dog doing.
yeah, but it's also like, oh, oh, where's everyone been? Oh, they're like taking a good interest in the human world for some reason.
Yeah, they all
Wait,
find
I
it
guess
pretty
do
Ryuka.
we,
dull.
in that scene, do we know what card game they're playing?
Uh,
Uh,
I mean, it's either Japanese or made up. I don't recognize
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's
I
not like
don't recognize
it's
it.
not
I
I
like
don't
have no.
recognize it off the top of my head either. So
it,
I have an
it
autistic.
wasn't it was like tarot cards or something they were using, right?
Oh yeah,
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 that
you're right.
it looked like they had like I can
Yeah,
believe it's just poker with weird cards.
It looks like
yeah,
something out of
probably.
JoJo with all the tarot cards. That
Yeah.
Yep.
that is might be the next show I have us watch months and months from now when we
What,
eventually
JoJo?
get to it. Just part one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Everything
I
past part
know.
one's too long.
It's funny you should say that. Granola wants me to watch JoJo.
Oh, there you go. Well,
but
maybe
yeah,
after
yeah.
or you can always just
Basically,
rewatch it too. I'm not gonna make you wait a year to cover it.
yeah.
You're banned
Basically,
from watching that show until we cover
No.
it.
the idea is like Light is sewing in an extra pocket in his wallet.
Yeah.
And that's the Death Note pocket.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely in the pocket. Um.
Oh,
So
but
going back, yeah.
sorry, no, sorry. I was gonna say no. I have like an autistic obsession for like dice games and like card games, and so
Mm-hmm.
when I saw that, I was like, I need to know what they're playing.
What was
Uh,
what was the game in Assassin's Creed 3 with like the tiles? You ever play that game?
I have not played that.
Other you probably like Assassin's Creed 3 just for the mini games. There's a lot of really cool like card and like board and like dice games that I've never heard of, but like
Ooh.
pretty fun. Like the side you can like gamble on all of them, and like there would be like days where I would just like play this like gambling mini games in like Assassin's Creed 3 for like hours at a time. It's just like
Yeah,
like it's like Red Dead Redemption where you play poker more often than you like play the actual game.
yeah.
Uh,
I love
like,
when
that's
games have that.
my dad would literally do that. Like he would like hop on Red Dead Redemption and like play just poker for like the entire session.
That's awesome.
It's just like at that point, I just play like like an online poker game, and he's like, "I like to be the cowboy."
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, it's
but
cool when games have a system
yeah,
where like different NPCs have different like difficulty levels. So,
yeah,
but anyways, Death Note.
no. Um, so some of the detectives are appalled at the thought of surveilling civilians in their own home, saying they could lose their jobs over it. So like yeah, so like L reveals his plan to put cameras and wiretaps in
Yeah.
Yagami and the other dudes' houses and like monitor their families because he expects there's a 5% chance that Kira could be one of them. Although that's
Yeah.
like that line of dialogue happens in like a couple minutes because first L puts them in their place by commenting how they're willing to risk their lives but not their jobs, and then like they
Yeah, I
both
was
kind of
gonna
just like
say
kind of
that.
stand there and like, oh yeah, like we did put our lives on the line for this. I guess we could risk getting fired.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Detective Yagami asks what the odds are that Kira is one of those two households. And Al goes 10, no, 5%. And then Chief Yagami says, there's even 1% chance they need to take it. He says that while he's offered his family, while he's offended his family's under suspicion, he gives El his blessing to go through with it, to the surprise of the other detectives. He says to even install them in the bathroom. Ew.
Damn.
He's gonna watch his son take a shit. uh, and Elle said that was always his intention, and I wrote that perv.
Whoa, ow, what do you mean by that?
he's like, he's like, yes, yes, put them in the bathrooms. And then Chief Yagami starts to lose his cool as the detectives question him on his decision. He's obviously not in the mood because he's not like doing this lightly, and he kind of like snaps at him, which he rarely does. And
Yeah, he said,
Elle's like, well, yeah, go on.
what was the line? Um, trying to find it. I'm looking at the scene. He says
Well, while
like,
you're looking for,
there's no
oh, go
point
on.
in doing this unless we're thorough. I think
Yeah,
something along those
which
lines, which is
yeah, which
fair.
makes sense for his character. Like he's all in on going after Kira.
Yeah,
And then Elle says, for privacy's sake, only him and Chief Yagami will be allowed to look at the households. And then I wrote as a little joke, I said, Elle wants them boobies all to himself. Laugh my ass off because he's gonna be
yeah.
watching the
The
bathrooms.
minor, the little sister.
God, he is gonna wash her shower. That's pretty weird.
Hey, oh, I
That,
wish Rangi was here. We could make fun of his favorite character for being a pedophile.
yeah, I guess because what he's like 25, right? He's not exactly young.
I don't know how old he is supposed to be. Obviously, he is young enough to like pretend to be a college student, which we see later on.
He just looks
So,
young. I'm pretty sure he's in his
yeah.
mid to late 20s.
How old is L in Death?
I can believe he's early 20s and just
25
started his
or
career
24.
Yeah,
early.
I said 25. Let's go. I was right.
Okay.
Yeah,
because L's 8 or Light's 18, so because we
but
always knew that Light was, or we knew that L was a few years older at the minimum than Light, because he said he always says stuff like when I was that age, he's like, it's like youthful arrogance, that kind of stuff. So like he would
Yeah.
have to be at least like 5
He
years
does
older.
what you
Like
do to me.
pretty much. I mean,
no.
You and Rangi
If
are
I
about the
was
Rangi
same
does
age
it
Lulu's
gap.
if
more. Rangi does more.
Yeah. Well,
if
because he's
I was
older.
Lulu's age, I'd give Rangi money.
Yeah, you wish, buddy. You wish.
Because I think the age gap between you two is
Oh,
about exactly the same as the age gap between
what
L
the?
and Light. About 7 years,
But also,
right?
because I was stepped away for the moment, I will say, my view of
Wait,
Yagami of Detective Yagami being so inter- willing to like allow it is no. I think he's desperately looking for a way to like clear his family because he's like,
Oh yeah,
oh
which we
shit,
will.
well,
I was gonna mention that later because he like
yeah.
he does explicitly state that later, but yeah, we can mention that now.
Well, I wasn't talking about that. I thought that was like the clear implication because
Oh, it is the clear
yeah, he does
implication, but
mention that later.
in case like the audience didn't catch it, he does, like, I'm pretty sure, explicitly say he's like, I did this to exonerate my family or something like that. Like he
Yeah,
has like a
yeah.
which
line later to
also,
help.
by the way, fun fact, this probably is a massive so Japanese has really extensive and really strong privacy laws. That's
Yes,
another reason that this is a big deal because of that. Like you got to understand like
well,
you
America
can
did
kind
too
of
until 2001. That's when we got rid of them.
well so Japanese privacy laws are to the extent you can't record somebody's face in public.
Uh, yeah, I guess ours are. I mean, depend if you air on TV, you have to get permission, but well, in
Yeah,
Japan, it's
but
definitely, yeah, more severe.
no, like YouTubers have gotten in trouble for actually
Johnny
showing people.
Somali, woo!
I wasn't even talking about Johnny Somali. He got in trouble for a lot of other like really
Oh, yeah, because
shit
he was just
stuff
being a
he did.
tard throughout all of like Japan and South Korea and like
Yeah.
other Asian
Wasn't he just
countries.
being like extremely racist and shit?
Yeah, he
That
was.
too. Yeah. So he's done a lot of stuff, and I think the Vitali stuff is funnier as far as what happened.
Yeah.
Like Johnny
Um.
Somali is like getting slowly bled of money. Vitali is in prison for 20 years in the one of the worst prisons in like the world outside of like literal dictatorships.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so Light walks into his house. It's now under surveillance. Like we see him walk in, and then like the camera it cuts to him like being on camera, then cuts back to him, then cuts back to him being on camera. So it's like we now know that like Light's being surveilled, but he doesn't know that just yet. He's gonna find that
No,
out.
it's
I mean,
interesting how he finds that out too.
oh yeah, he's got like not one, not two, but three safety
3.
precautions. With the
Yeah.
first one being supposedly like he made it so it was obvious enough that someone who was looking to tamper with his room would catch it and then put it back. So like, but
Yeah.
the 2 and 3 are nowhere near as obvious. Two has the issue of someone could like mess with his door and not exactly go in it, but like
Yeah.
3 knows someone goes in. So that's the purpose of having the third one, because no one's gonna notice 2, but like 2 doesn't give him enough detail to know if someone's gone into his room. It just means they put their hand on his door. So
Yeah.
like his mom could have done that, but 3, that's the little graphite, which would have been really awkward if like L somehow figured both of those things out, because then like I mean no, not even L would think to do the stuff to look for the stuff Light planned. But if he somehow did, Light's just screwed, because unless Ryuk decides to tell him, which I doubt he would under normal circumstances.
Right.
Yeah, well, Ryuk would not help him at all under normal circumstances.
The only reason he does help him this episode is because Light basically blackmails him and like manipulates him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's holding out on his fix.
Yeah, like Lulu. This is back to what I was saying. That it's like Ryuk doesn't help often, but like he does help sometimes. And like I did tell you, the apple was more than just a joke. Like it would have plot relevance.
Yeah.
And here it
If
is.
you find all the cameras for me, I'll give you some apples.
And he starts like panting like a dog. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll go find
It's
him.
like, find all the cameras for me, or you just don't ever get any more apples.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
So
that was really funny.
yeah. Oh yeah, episode 8 is one of the funniest episodes in the whole series, in my opinion. Like I got a good few chuckles rewatching it. Um. So yeah, Light notices something is wrong because the Mad Lad planned like this far out to prevent his stuff getting discovered. And then I
Right.
wrote, "Yo, Ryuki's a gamer," because the first thing he asks when they walk in, he's like, "Hey, Light, you want to play any video games? It's been a while."
Yeah.
So which is it's funny that it implies either that Ryuk plays with him because he can interact with objects, or he just likes watching Light play. Like he's like it's
Oh,
like it's
but
a
you
own
have to
personal let's
He's a
remember,
play.
gamer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ryuk was also here the whole time, which means he probably was here when they set up the cameras.
not necessarily. He usually just follows Light around.
I
They
mean,
set it
that's
up when
true.
Because
he's gone.
He was here already,
he
though, so I'm wondering what if Ryuk knows.
oh
I
no,
always
wait, he
wondered,
doesn't
like, if Ryuk knows something was up already. And, like,
When do you are you just inferring that? Because like, what
no,
when would
it's
you?
always been. Well, it's not something I believe is true or false. It's something I've always like wondered about. It's like,
I doubt it. He usually sticks pretty close by Light. Like when Light leaves the house, he leaves with them, and like he rarely leaves his side.
I was gonna
I
say
thought it was
like
an interesting idea.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think so. I don't think there's. I mean, based off of everything the show presents, he's like with Light virtually 24/7. So I don't think he would just go back to the house for himself.
Yeah. I was gonna say like I it doesn't seem like he like has to follow Light around. It just seems like he like chooses to, but he can go like he can leave Light if he wants to, but he
Well, I
like
think the only
just
thing he can't
doesn't.
do is leave the human realm, right? Like he can't go back to the Shinigami realm until Light dies or gives up the Death Note. But like, I don't think
Yeah.
there's like, I don't think it's like uh that like one Rock movie like where he's like stuck by the riverside or whatever, the Jungle Cruise or whatever. Like he literally can't leave a certain mile radius from the river or he turns to stone. Like I don't think it's one of those things.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's interesting, right? Because obviously we know Ryuk. I can also believe Ryuk just went ahead of Light because we know Ryuk can go through walls, and we don't see Ryuk in that scene where Light arrives back home.
He doesn't know the
So
light. He doesn't know the cameras are there. He
yeah,
asked Light
he
why he's not
doesn't.
talking to him.
That's
Yeah.
true. Okay, yeah, maybe. I've always just thought it was like an interesting thing, but yeah, when I think about it, it makes
Yeah,
a little less
I
sense.
don't. There's no evidence for it. He acts the complete opposite how you expect. He would probably be giggling if he knew there was cameras or bugs there. So
That's
like it's
true.
just,
He does do the laugh whenever there's something he knows that Light doesn't.
yeah. So he wasn't laughing. He was just kind of he was not even he was like
Oh
usually
my
he finds it
god.
entertaining. He was getting annoyed with Light for ignoring him, which he wouldn't be doing if he knew something was up.
there's
Well,
a
But
in that
there's a
case, it's even more. It's even funnier because the Shinigami who's like only been like used to the stimulation of like, okay, well, I can like gamble, I can look into the human world, I guess, or I can like sit around doing nothing and brooding. Now
mm,
he's like, he's gotten used to like actual companionship to a point where he's annoyed when Light won't
yeah,
find
yeah.
he's like a spurned wife. He's like, talk to me. Why aren't
Yeah,
you talking to me?
I find that interesting that like
Light wears
Ryuk
the pants.
yeah. Ryuk says that like he doesn't care about Light, but then at the same time he like kind of does view Light as his friend almost.
He does. I mean,
So
like basically, he likes Light, but he's not gonna like stick his neck out for him, and he's not gonna like be too torn up whether he lives or dies. But he does
right.
like he does like as much as Ryuk has capacity to like a human being, like Light's like the top of his list.
Yeah.
But like
Um
he's not gonna be like heartbroken if Light dies or anything. But
yeah, cuz he's almost expecting it to happen at some point.
well, he knows. He knows when Light dies. That's like a
Oh, he could
ability he
see it.
has.
Right,
Yeah,
right. I forgot.
because Light ass is
Um
like even I'm not crazy enough to tell you that.
uh
Well,
but yeah,
you know what else is interesting?
what?
Uh,
What?
when Light leaves, he doesn't do any of the extra precautions he talked about him having been doing because he know, and I think it's because he knows. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I can
yeah, he
assume I'm
knows.
either being recorded
Mhm.
on camera, wiretaps, or both.
Yeah, he knows that since someone was in his room, and because what ticked him off wasn't that someone entered his room. If the paper was still on the floor, he just would assume like his mom or sister went in. But since
Yeah.
someone put the paper back, is what clued him in. That was the point of the paper. It's so that someone who's in his room that shouldn't be there to the point where they would know to put the paper back. It's like he knows he's dealing with like some serious people if the paper's back in the door because his mom wouldn't
Yeah,
do that.
Right.
Because like
but
Ryuk
also
actually points it out. He's like your mom could just come in your room. He's like, no, she wouldn't have put the paper back, which is the genius of the paper. The paper like is I think the most impressive part of it all because like it's not only like the most obvious defense mechanism. It is the most obvious defense mechanism because he wants people to notice it. And I think that's the only defense mechanism. Like it's just a very impressive plan.
yeah, it's like I think the easy explanation is like if you came home to find like, oh, my door was locked when I left and now it's unlocked. Yeah, that's an easy like indicator. If it's locked, then you aren't you'd assume oh, okay, well, obviously nobody's been in my house. But if you had like a secondary thing, like what was it, the lead for the mechanical pencil or the
Mhm.
doorknob thing,
Like, and the
like
reason
the
he has
doorknob
two of
thing, it
those
could be,
in case they somehow find one of them, they probably won't find the other. So he has like two backups to his uh his idea for secrecy.
Yeah.
the other thing is with the doorknob thing specifically, that's something like, okay, well, somebody could like bump against the door and like
Hmm. Well,
uh
yeah, we went over
you
that
know
earlier.
undo that.
Like the reason he adds the graphite one is because the door one doesn't necessarily give him the information that someone actually went in his room. It just means they like brushed
Yep.
up against the door. Um, so Light ignores Ryuk, and Ryuk kind of throws a little hissy fit. Like, I didn't write down the exact line in dialogue, but it's basically he's like, "Why aren't you talking to me, Light?"
He's like,
Wah.
boo-hoo.
Yeah.
It's funny too because the way I what's interesting is uh his dad is kind of like because obviously this is something his dad never considered that he might be doing.
Yeah, and
But
then
also
L's like, yeah, it's not that abnormal for someone his age.
yeah,
He's like I did similarly like weird things at that age. Like Light, good for L to give like Light a lot of props because like he easily could have been like, yeah, your son is he's a
yeah,
monster.
I
we
can
He's
see.
a
we should put more
gooner.
cameras. He's a
I
gooner.
was gonna say what teenager isn't a little paranoid if someone.
Yeah. No, I know it's totally valid. I mean, we all probably hid like contraband in a room at some point that like you don't want your
Yeah,
parents to find.
obviously. Voice
Yeah.
crack, holy shit.
But- so Detective Yagami is
You know what?
shocked.
I never did. You can't prove
Oh,
it.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
okay, buddy. I was gonna make a jar joke, but we'll move on before we can bring that up again. Uh, So L notes that this type of L notes this type of behavior is not particularly abnormal for someone's age, and L says when he was that age, he did strange things too. He said that L asked them if he ever told his family about the investigation, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but Detective Yagami just lies to his face here, right?
Yeah.
I feel like he didn't
Because he
discuss
I think
case details,
the only
but
thing he's ever said
he
is
told
like his
everyone he was
main.
working on the case. That was it.
but he did tell like a couple things because like I remember Kira asked questions at the dinner table or Light asked questions at the dinner table and he answered them. So like it's not like he like um
That was before
because
he
Yeah,
was working with L, though.
it was, but he said, did he ever tell his family about the investigation? It's just, I just the way the question was phrased, at least in the sub, I think it was kind of
well,
vague enough that you can
I don't.
interpret it. Detective Yagami
I
kind of
don't
lied,
think
but
I don't think he's lying. I think that he doesn't realize he's leaked anything.
maybe, but because like I feel like though that like it is pretty crucial information that like Light is aware of what his dad is doing because that does end up playing a factor to how Light does this
It does.
stuff. So like him telling L that he didn't is either a lie or a fatal error. So it's like he's
So the
either
one thing I can think of specifically is him bringing up the case to the family and saying like he's staying on it.
That's what I
Mhm.
meant. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that like that is like I mean it's not a huge detail, which is probably why he didn't like think to include it, but like Light does use the information that he's still
Okay.
actively a part of the
Wait.
Curie
Yeah.
case.
Yagami. What Yagami says is, "I'd never leak anything top secret to him." That's a specific wording,
Is it?
which isn't a lie. I don't think he's like said anything top secret. Well, the only
I
thing
get
top secret is he's working on the case, but Light already knew that.
well he knew that because his dad told him.
Yeah, yeah, but that wouldn't have been top secret at the time that he's working on the Kira case,
I thought
and
it was.
it wasn't
I guess
secret necessarily that like
I mean they had like a
the police
whole
were
like
working.
they had a convention of like all of, like the top police minds in the world. So like I feel like that wasn't something they were just gonna like publicly share to everyone. I don't know. I just feel like there's something there. Like I could be looking into it too much, but it seems like that if
Well,
L
I
knew the
think even
information that he would have probably changed some stuff in his plan. Because Light certainly used the information that he's currently a part of it. Because like that's how he gets Naomi killed. But he knows his dad is still a part of the Kira case.
Yeah.
that is true. And, yeah, and then he gleans the rest based off the fact that the all of the Kira task force that still exists wasn't in the building.
Yeah. But like his dad, like the little information his dad did tell him was put to use to for him to kill like important people. So it's like I feel like L would definitely want to know the information, and I feel like that Detective
Yeah,
Yagami not telling him is probably gonna would have changed how some of L's plans would have
but
played out. He probably would
I
have been
think
more
the
suspicious
fact
of
that he
Light.
said that he didn't say anything top secret, I think it's more a case of he's like, well, no, I didn't tell him any sensitive information. Like he knows I'm
That's
working
why I
on the
think it's just a
case.
flaw on his part. I think he didn't realize that
Yeah,
him telling his son that he's one of the few police officers sticking around is top secret information. Like he probably didn't consider that because like
I don't
how
think
would
he
yeah,
he
said
know
no,
that like
that's not secret information because later on in
like,
episode 9 and 10, both L and Light like already know that like I don't know how to explain it.
hmm,
I
I
think
could
just the way it was worded was just like a mistake.
okay. Yeah, I could like I said, I was probably being like looking into this
but
way too much, but
we do also get the statement, and I find this interesting too, because even then that could have been a mistake. We get the statement from Chief Yagami that he's like, lately I'm barely ever home regularly, and when I do, I'm exhausted, so I just get some sleep. And
Yeah.
to add that to like the visual details that are noticeable with like, they have bags under their eyes, clearly
Mm.
exhausted, like.
Mm. Yeah, they basically been working around the clock to the point they don't even see their own families.
Yeah, I can believe he just genuinely could not think of that as being a possible thread.
Yeah, because I mean, he didn't even suspect his own son until Elle pointed out to him that he's probably one of the more obvious leads.
Yeah, and
I mean,
even
he says anyone in
then,
the household, but like what he really means is Light. Like they put the most Ryu notes they put the most cameras in Light's room out of every room in the house,
Yeah.
which
Is it like
implies that
64 or something?
yeah, they put
yeah,
64 in
it's
Light's
64
room.
camera, which
Yeah,
that
probably
does
they probably
sound a
put
bit
more.
excessive.
Yeah, they probably because they want to see like every single angle. Like they probably put more in his room than they did in the rest of the house combined. It's not a very big house,
Yeah.
Wait, did they
but
say they put more in his room than any other place in the house?
I think you can
uh,
just infer. I don't think it
I think you can
stated.
infer it, and I think Ryuk does have a line saying something along those lines that had. I'm pretty sure he had a line like, "There's more cameras here than anywhere else in the house. There's like 64 of them or something." It's like
Yeah,
like I think
speaking
he
of, yeah,
mentions the kitchen not being as like, because the reason they did it too was because they figured he would find some of them, so they wanted to add more that like he probably would never find because
I
it's,
I
it's
do
yeah.
like that the different like means that Light did to detect the thing, because the next scene I think is just him explaining like, explaining the thing,
What the three defense mechanisms?
Yeah, which
Yeah,
was
we don't need to
the
we
door
don't know
that
we're going over it
the
again.
door handle,
We covered it three
the
times already.
the door handle, the graphite, and the slip of paper. Yeah, it's just him explaining it, so I think we can just skip.
So yeah, so
We can
Ryuk
just
is
skip
getting
that.
very annoyed with Light for ignoring him. Light reveals Ryuki thinks the house is bugged. Yeah, we already went over that. Yeah, went over
Oh,
that. Light tells
this
Ryuk
would
they'll
be
have to go
an
without apples
interesting
for a
thing.
while. What?
Light doesn't talk to Ryuk until he's like checked for like wiretaps or like any sort of like bugging on his clothes.
Yeah.
I liked that detail.
Yeah, me too.
Because he doesn't do it until he's outside and he's already like checked, combed himself for like wiretap tips or ticks essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. He goes to like a bookstore and he buys something.
but yeah, but before we get to that, so when Light tells Ryuk they'll have to go without apples for a while, this is not please Ryuk because Ryuk says no you can't do this to me. You know how much I sacrificed. He's like apples are what cigarettes and alcohol are to humans to him. So he's basically telling him he'll go through withdrawal and he'll
You know
start
how
doing
much
weird
I
things like
sacrificed.
Oh my god!
Sorry, I had to.
I didn't realize you were
Does that
playing
come
something at
over on
first.
the
I thought that was
screen?
just you yelling. Uh, yeah, this is where Light manipulates Ryuk with apples. He's like, "Well, you want more apples? You have to find all the cameras." And Ryuk's like, "Okay, I'm gonna find the cameras. I'm gonna find the cameras." He's like, "Ah, it's gonna be fun." Like all methed out.
Yeah.
All right, and that's halfway through episode 8. So, the Death Note title card number 15. A person can shorten his or her own life by using the note. So, you can kill yourself by using the Death Note. You can
That's what
just
I would do.
you can just
But yeah,
I guess you could write like the most amazing if you're suicidal, this would be like the perfect thing 'cause you could give yourself the most badass suicide of like all time.
True.
you could also give yourself like the last day of life ever.
Pretty much, yeah.
That could be a premise for a movie, actually.
Well, how long
It's
can you
alright.
like write out? I guess it's oh yeah, it's just how
I
well no,
think it
because
was
like
30. It was they gave a number. I remember it was a limited number for how long you control, but I can't remember
Yeah, because I know like you can do it for like you can write out whatever you can for like 6 minutes and 40 seconds or whatever. But like, how long can you be like controlled by the Death Note? Like, can you write yourself that you have like the time of your life for like 10 years and then you die? Like, I doubt it.
What happens if you use what happens if you use the pages of the Death Note for like printer paper?
What?
Like you print that out like a Microsoft Word document out on the Death Note.
Like, you mean like scan it onto it?
Yeah.
Like you just like put it in a printer and just like you
Oh
just,
my god.
um I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because I guess that would have to count under like the 6 minute and 40
Yeah,
second
yeah, it
rule, right?
would. I
As long as you
assume.
don't have like a slow ass printer, it just gets it printed all in time. I don't know. It's because the Death Note for most of its like history wouldn't be able to
Wait. Oh my
accommodate
god,
that.
I have a question. I have a question.
What?
So, in the movie, they
No,
I
not the movie again.
in the movie, they say one of the rules for the Death Note is that if you write someone's name on the page and then you like regret it, you can like burn the page to undo it. Does that like did they
I
make
don't
that
think
up
so.
or is that in here?
I don't recall that in the show.
Okay, I think they made that up then.
Or,
But
Rangi, can you
I don't know how
confirm?
Rangi feels about that, but I actually kind of think that was an interesting like rule that they added to the movie.
Rangi hates that
I'm
movie.
trying to remember, but I don't think that was in the show.
I can't recall it being the show.
That's okay. I'm just curious.
I've this is my third watch through, but this is what Rangi's like eighth.
I feel like
Oh,
something as
so it's my
big as
eighth,
that
but I
you
always
remember.
do them. My thing is I can't rewatch shows while I still remember the event.
So how many times have you watched this show? Like you had to space it out like a lot then for if you have to keep forgetting it.
Yeah, I do usually for years.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've probably been watching Death Note since you were like since it aired.
No, actually, but it's not my eighth. It's probably more like my fifth or sixth,
Okay, but still a bit.
and probably half of those I was drunk. To be fair.
Is this your second time Iron or like
It's like
third?
second and a half kind of. So basically, I watched it on my own in Japanese. Then I rewatched the first 2/3 of it in English with my parents, and then after a certain episode, they weren't really interested in continuing.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah,
I do like that the reason that the Ryu can't eat apples is like because it would literally disappear on camera, and also
Yeah.
yeah,
Light gives like the point of like, oh yeah, because I already gave him the hint that Shinigami really like apples, even
yeah.
though like
So
obviously
a floating apple will be suspicious regardless of the hint.
it would be
Yeah.
like obviously it would be, but
That'd be really funny though.
I feel like it would be. You could probably play that off as like, what do you mean there was a floating apple in my room? But the fact that you
They
know,
just be like, I'm practicing to become a magician.
well, no, it could
Dude, that
you
just
could
reminds me.
literally play ignorant. You could be like, wait, there was a
Dude,
floating apple
light
in
could
my
be
room.
like what? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Light could be like the best killer magician ever.
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said though, like could also just play off like, what do you mean there was a floating apple in my room?
Yeah, it kind of sucks. There's not really any other viable career paths other than serial killer for the Death Note, because it can do a lot of cool things. But
No,
no
no,
matter what you do with it,
I can see a
you're a serial
story
killer
of
no matter
like
how
a
you use it. What?
I can see a story of like a corporate careerist using the Death Note just to create like opportunity. I mean, I guess you'd
Oh my
still
god,
be a
Rangi, you
serial killer
asshole!
because
Stop. Did you was that like? Did you do it on purpose? I can't tell.
What?
did I do what on purpose?
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Wait, what happened?
I guess
wasn't paying
the world
attention.
will never know.
Good. Just don't rewatch
I
this
wasn't
part of the
listening.
stream.
No.
Rangi just basically explained the plot of the second arc of this show while you weren't listening.
Why would he do that? Why would he do? Now I can't re-listen to the stream.
Shit, no, I forgot. So I usually stop at the first arc, so I forgot that was an actual arc.
Oh.
I couldn't tell whether you were joking that like you just didn't remember, or that like you did it to
No,
be facetious.
I did actually not remember, but now you've pointed it out.
Yeah, you because you
So
just
you're-
described the plot of the second arc. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like
I won't lie. I did not hear a single thing Rangi said.
just don't. I mean, just don't rewatch this
I'm
part
not
of the
gonna
stream.
rewind the
Okay,
stream.
Because
I
yeah,
can. So
Rangi
I can
basically
also
bar for
see-
bar explains the second act of the second arc of the show.
I can also see some. There's plenty of other things. I can also see somebody who is like actually just a criminal who they only use like detailed explanations for their rivals dying and just like, oh yeah, my opponent in the drug war, yeah, he gets busted by the police. He reaches for his gun and he gets shot.
I dead ass thought you were gonna start explaining the third arc for shits and giggles. I was
No.
gonna kill you.
No, I'm talking about like just like you could have like imagine if White got his hands on the Death Note. Like
What if Walter White had the Death Note? That could be an
would be
interesting show.
wild. That could be an interesting YouTube video.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
what if kind of show. Yeah, because if Dexter had the Death Note, I feel like it'd be a pretty similar show.
I feel like Dexter would find it really boring.
Yeah,
You
because the whole
think?
point of Dexter is he wants to like kill them himself.
Yeah,
Whereas
and
Light
even
does
though I
not
haven't
do.
watched
He
Dexter,
he can make a knife out of the pages.
even though I haven't watched Dexter,
So then they see
Dexter.
because that'd be pretty cool, Lou. Because then they would see an angel of death as they're bleeding out. Like I think you'd actually get like you find that fun. You like put like
Wait, huh?
little pieces of paper into the knives he uses, and then like stabs them, and then like as they're bleeding out, like Ryuk just appears and laughs at them.
Oh, that's funny.
That's kind of funny. Like they appear, Ryuk appears for them, and he's like, "Ha! This was really funny. You died like a bitch."
Yeah, it's literally like the Arkham Asylum cutscenes with like instead of the Joker, you get Ryuk. He's like, "Ha! You died like that." It's like, see you in hell.
No, God, no. Now just imagine Ryuk's reaction to Tywin's death in Game of Thrones.
You died on the toilet? Ha! This
What a
Lannisters really
shitty
do
end,
shit
right?
gold.
Right?
Oh, it's like Lannisters don't really shit gold after all.
Oh, but we it's also with the comment about Ryuk's withdrawal symptoms. My body twists around wildly and I do handstands.
Yeah, the fact that he does handstands is just really funny and odd. Anyway, Death Note title card 16 because we're only halfway through 8, and how long have we been going? Oh my god, we're only halfway through
least
the
a minute.
episode, and we're an hour and a half in.
Yeah, we should speed it.
So
Okay.
Death Note title card number 16. The human who becomes the owner of the Death Note can, in exchange of half of his or her remaining life, get the eyeballs of the God of Death, which will enable him or her to see a human's name and remaining lifespan when looking through them. So yeah, that's one of the more important rules that will be brought up from time to time. So yeah, so Light buys pornography magazines from the store, which is not what most people are probably expecting upon a first watch. Do you expect it, Lulu?
No.
Actually, is it pornography? Is it specifically pornography? Because they're
I
completely
mean, they're
clothed. That's count
they're
as
wearing.
porn?
I don't know. I mean, they're wearing like next to nothing. It's like
Yeah,
porn light. Essentially. Oh, get it?
if
Porn
it's
light.
not pornography, it's very close.
Light porn light. Yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially like a swimsuit calendar, a
Thank you
swimsuit
for getting it,
magazine.
Lulu. I had to repeat it like 5 times because no one laughed. I'm
I
like,
got
oh,
you.
thanks. Um,
You are starting to get more and more quiet. I will admit that.
who,
Oh,
me?
Oh, okay. No, no. Now you're fine.
I was
So
kind of backing up a little bit from my mic, but I'll
no,
lean
no.
closer.
It wasn't on your end. Some reason, yeah, Discord was lowering your volume on my end, so you were like
Uh,
50 volume.
Interesting. You
weird.
probably just did that and forgot.
Well, no, no. I'm pretty sure I would have remembered doing that.
Oh no, you
I was
do
just
that just
like,
when like we do when there's a bunch of people on a call. Usually you'll lower me because I'm talking about like other shit than what most people on the call are talking about. Anyway,
maybe I
L's
did
not.
do that one. No, but you've been progressively like getting quieter throughout this call.
You have amnesia. Face it. you're,
Dementia.
you're getting old, Rangi. Your brain can't keep up. Uh, anyway,
Yeah.
enough about old man Rangi. L is not buying the light is just a perv act. It takes one to know one, right?
Well, it's that though. It's funny because it's almost like this is like the obvious reason that like a 17-year-old would be like, yo, oh, I don't want anyone to
Secretive.
come into my room.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's 18, right? Because he's basically about to
No,
graduate
no,
high
they
school.
specifically have a line that says he's 17 at this
Oh,
time.
True.
I guess he's just young for his grade, or Japan does their system differently. Anyway,
What? Well, no, no. Well, what do you mean? Because the next episode is literally him going to college.
yeah, most people going to college are 18 going on 19 their freshman year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. So he's 17 now. He
Yeah, and
probably.
if he's right before finals, so unless his 18th birthday is like next week, like he's pretty young for
Oh,
his
I never
age.
thought about that. I actually
Yeah,
never
I
thought
mean
about that.
it's not impossible. I knew some people who were 17 going into college, but it was very rare. So like he must be like the youngest person in his
To be
grade,
fair,
unless
remember,
Japan does
Light
their
was
age system differently.
well.
But
Remember,
he
Light
could
was
be
also
ahead. Yeah,
Light. Yeah, Light was the #1 student in like the
he could have
Yeah,
skipped a
I
year.
think
the
I think
entirety of Japan for his tests.
They probably skipped a year. That
a
happens
lot of
sometimes. They're like prodigies.
a lot of countries either have like less than one like they either have like less grades than America does, or they start school like younger, like a year or two
Okay,
younger. Because my
gotcha.
friend, I have a friend named Nathan, and he's in the UK, and I think he started college like when he was like 17. So I think they just have either one less grade or like start school a year early
Gotcha.
than like we do. So yeah.
Well, hello, Nathan.
I doxed him.
If you're watching this stream, Monkey says hi. But Chief Yagami is like, "You suspect my son?" It's like, I'm like, "Yeah. What do you think you're doing this for?" It's like, "Nah, Elle's just doing this for shits and giggles." Like, and then Elle
Yeah.
literally says, "Yeah, that's why I place wiretaps and surveillance cameras in your house." Like, that's word for word what he says. Like, he's like, why are you questioning me, like being suspicious of your son? Why do you think I put cameras in his fucking house and
Also,
room?
but
Yeah.
I think this is one of those points where like basically the way it is he's like seeing his family in the best light, obviously, and so
Best
his
light.
emotions.
Yeah, yeah. You do it on
But yeah,
purpose.
his emotions are overcoming his logic, and because I think he obviously knew, like, yeah, obviously he suspects, I don't think he thought of it as like a real possibility until now.
Well, he said even if there's a 1% chance, and I was like, yeah, it's like 5 or 10, probably 5. And he's like, oh
Well,
well,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I get what you mean, like the cognitive dissonance between
Yeah.
going through with it and like actually wholeheartedly accepting it that your son could be a serial killer. Like
I think
that
it's
must be like a hard thing to fully swallow. Like even though you're going through the motions of monitoring your son for possible like psychoactivity, like it's just like you
yeah.
probably just like deep down you just can't accept it, and that was probably just like kind of like a slip up on his part. It's just like he's kind of forgetting the gravity of the situation, why they're doing this. And Elle's like kind of just reminding him, like, yeah, I think there's a genuine possibility your son is Kira. That's why we put cameras and wires in his room.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it was also like because of the fact it was another family and his family. I think the
He
the
wants to think
idea
it's
of
their
it
family.
yeah, the idea of it actually being his family never like occurred. Well, maybe it's like been a brief like intrusive thought, but he's like, well, no, obviously, it's gotta be the other family
Yeah. Um.
if it is either of us.
Yeah. I'm. That's probably a thought in his mind. Ryuk found the first camera in the vents. Which I
It was
guess.
in the air conditioner specifically.
Yeah, the air vents. Yeah. Um. Light correctly concludes that this was L's idea. Um. Light's sister then. Anything else you want to say before we move on to like Light's sister like watching TV?
Well, I will say like, I think we could comment on the funny, the hilarity of fucking Ryu clicking for the cameras,
Oh yeah,
and
it's
we
pretty
get some of the
visually
visuals
funny.
of that.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
yeah, because he's like crawling up he's crawling on the ceiling like a
Oh yeah.
demented possessed crackhead.
And
Yeah,
there's
he
there's
literally
a
looks like
shot. There's a shot of his head like just passing like through
yeah.
the frame while Light's just sitting on his bed. I
It's
thought
pretty
that was a
much
Well,
great
if you
shot.
told like you told a crackhead I've hidden some meth in this room, go find it, and he's like, where is
Yeah.
it?
no, it's like I've hidden a bunch of like tokens in this room, and if you get enough of them, you have enough to buy a bag of meth or crack from me. But you don't get it until then.
Yeah,
It's like, but yeah, it's this also the him finding it is like also like Light uses that that does is the first confirmation that Light has that there are actually cameras. Because until now, he has been like just acting on the assumption that it might be, you know, he might be under surveillance.
yeah.
And he's still looking. It's really funny that because he is still looking through the thing, and he goes through the effort of pulling out. I believe this is like the from his bookshelf. I believe it's like yeah, it's like a thing of like school books or academic books, stashing the the magazine in there. Like he's going out of his way to like make it obvious, like okay, yeah, I'm hiding something. I'm hiding that I'm doing this, which is probably a normal activity for a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Light's doing the how you do, fellow kids, for the camera people.
Yes. The funny thing is, he doesn't seem particularly interested in the actual magazine theme.
No, absolutely
I
not.
don't,
He looks
he
he looks
doesn't
really
seem like
bored.
he doesn't seem like he has much interest in women in general. Maybe he did before he had god fantasies, but like he gets his rocks off to imagining himself as a deity
He
now.
seems pretty apathetic in general. I could believe he's just not interested in relationships at all, or like
It's probably
type of
it's
thing.
you probably have to find like a very particular girl. Like
Yeah,
there would probably be
basically, yeah.
probably like very few that would like interest him because like they would have to be at least as intelligent and like um witty as he is essentially.
I don't know. And maybe in another world we would have seen that, but
Yeah, Yeah, Light won't have to interact with any females in the show. Totally, he just won't have any female companions.
Yeah, totally.
It's all
He
all
hasn't
dudes from
already.
here
Like,
on out.
you know, I don't know. Who knows? He has interacted with that one girl during
Yeah,
the
he
setup.
used her to
Remember?
kill a cop, or sorry, a CIA agent.
Ah, yeah, he killed a
Very
girl.
very romantic date. Uh, the Light sister fangirls over an actor on the TV, which I believe is the same actor that Ryuk uses for his name, right? Look,
What?
Interacted with a woman. Never mind. Of course, it's from him.
Yeah.
oh, I was wondering. I thought I lost connection, but yeah, I read the comments. Um, hello, Broken. How you doing?
I assume he's doing well, except for the whole not interacting with women thing.
Yeah,
We'll,
he's
we'll
like,
have to
oh
get
my
him
god,
on.
light's literally me, and then he was like, oh, light gets bitches. Never mind.
We'll
Primo
have to have
joke.
the headset on for the next time we do death battles. Oh, he was on the first one for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That is
We
Wi-Fi
have
cut
to
out.
test his internet first to make sure it won't explode.
Yeah, I think like the
True.
last thing he said was something about like Eric Cartman kicking Hannibal Lecter in the balls, and then he like popped off. Anyway, Light's sister fangirls over an actor on the TV, which correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the same actor that L uses as a pseudonym for his college
Yeah, I think.
undercover, right?
Well, he named himself after like a singer. I don't know if it's the same
The
person.
singer, I thought it was just
Yes,
like
Ryuga Hideki. Yeah, it is. It is the same name.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because I was gonna say because usually a lot of times actors and singers kind of like cross over. It's pretty common.
Oh, you're right. Because she says his name. I didn't realize she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's just kind of a little foreshadowing to like what L is going to use as his name earlier or later.
Yeah.
And one of the reason L does this is because Light points it out that like while he's because like L doesn't know how Light kills, but he can kind of guesstimate since it takes a name and a face. If like the wrong face pops in while he's writing or using the name, like he could get his wires crossed and kill the wrong person. And if that
Well,
happens,
you know,
he'll
I
know
just realized
Light is Kira. The
this is
celebrity
also
died.
somebody. This is also a name and face that because he's like looking at the cameras. It's a name and and face that Light specifically might know about. That I'm wondering if L didn't choose it because of that.
Yeah, L probably was gonna choose a celebrity anyway, but since that was the
Yeah,
like celebrity
true.
that was on camera most recently, and Light was in the room,
Yeah,
he's like, "This is what we'll
that's the
do."
thing I'm thinking. It's like he. There's no way he chose this name by accident. He was
No, yeah,
like,
yeah. He probably saw that like since Light's sister's familiar with this actor and probably talks about him a lot, that like he'd be prominent enough in Light's head that like because if you pick some like random celebrity that Light might not be familiar with, they wouldn't probably
oh,
work as well. So he wanted to pick one that he knew Light would be familiar with via his sister. That seems to be like her
Yeah.
favorite celebrity. Because she was fangirling pretty hard over him. She's like, "Why can't any boys in my school be like this?"
yes.
Yes, it's tragic that high school boys don't look like movie stars. uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know,
so
shocking enough. I mean, all three of us look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his peak, obviously, but
Yeah, true.
if Arnold Schwarzenegger was a monkey, then yes.
well, except for Mandrill, he looks like a monkey, obviously, because he is a furry.
No, no, that's Burger.
Hmm.
Anyway, I love how Burger catches a stray like almost every episode. He hasn't even been on the podcast yet. He will for the
One
Death
Yeah.
Note
day,
movie when we eventually get
yes,
there.
yes, he
But
will in the Death Note movie, whether he wants to or not.
yeah. But oh my god, that's nightmare fuel. Jesus Christ, that's horrifying. I enlarged the image. Oh no.
Let me add to favorites so that I can throw it at Mandrill.
Oh,
Jesus.
sorry. A lot of times when I laugh, it causes me to have a coughing fit. But
My bad.
all good. Lulu's like, I'm sorry for being funny. But they play the 1500 investigators ploy on the TVs, and Light kind of like considers the possibility for a second. He's like, who cares? He's like, they're just trying to get a rise out of me. I won't let them.
Yeah.
He just kind of like
Well,
smirks it off, and then I think this compels him to be like, know what? I'm gonna fuck with L, and because then he
he
basically
shit talks
he
the
shit
idea
talks
of it.
L, but in a way that he knows can't like
Can't prove anything.
yeah, they can't prove that he knows he's being watched, but he kind of he does it in like a knowing way that's just suspicious enough that L kind of picks up on it. He wanted it to be like a subtle jab at L, and L kind of notices it. He's like, your son sure is bright, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then Ryuk is tired because he said he's not used to working hard.
Lazy bum.
Pretty much. He's like, Lou's like, that's my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Ryuk said he's like, listen up, because I ain't explained this shit twice. And then he tells him there are 64 cameras in the room, and then he goes over kind of like the details of like where the cameras are throughout the whole house, and like so basically there's not a lot of blind spots, but like there he basically knows enough that like when he puts the camera in the potato chip bag, he knows that no camera is going to be able to pick it up from inside the bag from the spot it's on at the desk. So that's when we get the famous line where he says, I'll take a potato chip
I'll take
and
a
eat it.
potato chip and eat it.
Such a good meme.
Peak.
Because it's like, I think it's like with his right hand, he'll like do math problems, and then with his left hand, he'll take a potato chip and eat it, and like something like that.
Yeah. Oh no, he'll do math equations with his left and then kill criminals with his right. That's what he said.
And then he said, "I'll take a potato chip and eat it." Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I never understood the point of that line. It's just kind of silly. Just like, yeah, you go like you show that potato chip. I think the author was just
I like how
getting caught up in the moment.
the dub and the sub are the exact same thing, which means they like wrote it like that on purpose.
Yeah. Detective Yagami was ready to jump at the chance that his family is innocent because L kind of says, "We found nothing," and Detective Yagami's like, "That's it, right? That means they're in the clear." And I was like, "Well, sure," but he's like, because he doesn't really believe in coincidences. He says he finds it odd that Kira killed two petty criminals the night the cameras were installed. He thinks the Yagami household sees too innocent. Like, it's basically they found nothing, and while they found nothing, two petty criminals were killed. He's like, Kira doesn't usually kill petty criminals, but like the same day we put the cameras in, he's like, it's a little suspicious, a little sus. He's like, it's a little sus that like your family's squeaky clean, which probably kind of pisses him off. He's probably like, my family's too perfect for you, essentially. Like,
well, no. Well, what's interesting is I think L has another comment about this, and I don't know if it's this episode or the next episode about
this episode's almost
perfect
over,
light
but
is. Yeah, I
sorry.
think it's the next episode about how perfect light is, and how
Mhm.
like that makes him particularly suspicious to L.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, Light basically has no flaws on the surface. I mean, like, obviously being a morally bankrupt serial killer is a pretty big flaw, but like his public persona is like flawless. It's like Patrick Bateman kind of.
Yeah. Well, that's
True.
because he is a true blue sociopath,
Yeah.
which
Do you think she?
sociopaths are like chameleons.
What came first, the book or the manga? Death Note or
Uh,
American Psycho? Probably American Psycho came first, right?
Probably. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be
So,
surprised if there's, but the psychological idea of a sociopath was like predates. I think I'm pretty sure both. So
well, probably, but I'm just saying. I wonder if the person who made Death Note got some inspiration from American Psycho because this character definitely gives me
91.
like Patrick Bateman vibes. 91 was American Psycho,
Yeah.
and when did the
yeah.
manga come out? Like early 2000s, right?
I
I think it's the early
2003,
2000s.
I think.
Because
I
this
think
was
it's 2003.
2007
I think the
for the
manga was
show.
2003.
Yeah, it was 2003.
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, so there's
I want
definitely
to get the
good good
manga.
chance. Yeah, you should at some point.
2003 was
Yeah.
when the manga started.
Next
Well,
time.
would be late to the party, Rangi. It's
December
pretty.
December 2003. No, I was googling.
I know, but I'm
Next
just
time
saying
I'm
we
at
both
Barnes and
confirmed it already.
Nobles, I'll find it. I'll find it.
There you go. I'm gonna start. I don't really normally read manga. I read like one Pokemon
I've
manga
never
like way
read
back
any
in the day.
I
before.
never read the
It's
manga. I
weird
never
because
read
you
the manga.
read from left or right to left, and that's why I'd stopped doing them
Oh.
because I didn't really like doing it. It felt like wrong.
Oh, it's funny. I had like the opposite uh ex- but experience when I started trying to read like American comics because I was used to reading manga.
Oh, but
Uh,
dude, like reading American comics is just like reading a book. You go left to right. It's like
do they
Yeah,
release
wasting.
yeah,
mangas but in like
well, when you've been doing something
reverse?
one way for 5
No, because
to
they
10
they
years,
only switch the text boxes. They don't actually like switch the panels. That would take more work.
Oh.
yeah. Well, there's a few that do. There's a handful that do, but it's
Are
very
But it's pretty
most
rare.
okay? Are most mangas
Most,
in black and white?
yes,
yes.
yeah. So
Okay.
they might have a couple of panels in the beginning to or pages in the beginning that are in color at most, but usually the majority of the book is black and white, and they do that to save money.
Yeah, they usually usually if they do have color in the books, it's like the first page of a chapter or something. Like they'll be like kind of like the occasional page. Like I know Naruto, like there's like the occasional like colored page or whatever. And then there's some mangas like JoJo because color's pretty important in JoJo. So like there actually is some like colored manga you can buy. Like what they actually
Right.
say is like they recommend because like color is a big part of like the style of JoJo. So like when it's in black and white, like it doesn't kind of capture it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the one I picked up was in black and white because I actually was gonna get into manga by reading JoJo because JoJo is a top two anime
Yeah,
of mine, and there's no fucking way I'm ever reading Naruto. So
yeah. So the
that's gonna take
vast
forever.
majority of manga is in black and white. I've seen more Korean comics that are color. I think color is more common for Korean comics, but for manga, it's specifically black and white usually because
Gotcha.
it's cheaper
Right.
for them to produce, which is probably why they have so many like bit of mangaka
Mangaka.
manga
And
creators.
then
And
the last
I'm
thing in this
probably not
episode,
pronouncing that word correctly.
the
I
last
didn't
thing in this
read it off.
episode is Ryuk notes that uh, Light dropped $400 on that alibi because the camera gets destroyed in the dumpster.
Yeah. This is particularly interesting, yeah, because he had the like the little LCD TV or the little like TV,
Yeah,
and
because
this,
Light
yeah,
probably doesn't have a ton of money to spare, being a high school student and all that. So like he probably used most of his savings on that little
yeah,
stunt.
he probably used most of his like allow savings in money. Yeah, I think it was like 39,000 yen, something like that, around 40,000 yen. that they say specifically.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote $400. I don't particularly remember if that number's accurate, but that sounds right. Like, that's probably about how much something like that would cost.
I can look it up, but it's probably not that important. But yeah, it's like 40,000 yen. It's like 39,700 yen
How much would that be in American dollars?
to American 2003. Uh let
Well, it
me.
would be, well, the anime was like 2007.
At least right now it's like it's like 272 bucks.
So back
Which for a
then,
high
which with inflation would be about like $400 back then. So I was right. Okay.
Well, you also have to keep into account the yen is one of those currencies that fluctuates.
Well, sure, but just all currency are prone to inflation because we live in a global market. So,
No, but it fluctuates a lot more than USD. That's
well, I'm just saying that like you translate it to US dollars, right? And so I'm just
yeah,
going off of what that
uh,
would be. Anyway, the point is it's like 400 $500 back then
yeah.
because
It's
or in
at least
today's money
that.
because like 250 to like $300 back then would be about like 400 500 now because money's worth less than it is now. Basic economics, blah blah blah. Boring, right? Let's talk about tariffs.
No, let's not. I say I'd rather beat the monkey than talk about tariff.
Episode 9, Encounter. We finally finished 8 in after what, like 2 hours? I think the last time we talked about it, the last time we talked about an episode this long was episode 1.
To be fair, half of that was tangent.
Yes, we've gone on a lot. This is the real tangent now. This one's worse than last time.
Yeah, but yeah, we are at the end, and yeah, it is kind of risky on Light's part to like basically be throwing this away so quickly. But like, it's also like, well, how
Well,
does he like
he can't
justify?
keep it in his room, so he has to get rid
Yeah,
of it.
how does he justify it? I was gonna say, yeah.
So, um,
Yeah, I like how even Ray
um,
points that out, where he's like, "Bro, isn't that like a lot of money?"
yeah, right. You understands Japanese
Shrug.
economics.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Well,
was
yeah,
gonna
doesn't
say,
he
I'm
even like have a
assuming,
comment about Light just being a big spender?
yeah, that's what, yeah. Um, uh, I'm assuming you guys aren't gonna do episode 10 now, considering we still got episode 9 to go, and it's already
We'll
been
just
two
do 10
hours.
next time. It's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think Lulu wants to do another like 6 hour stream like we did that one time, or 5 hours. That was that was
I
I'm
feel
brutal.
like if we're
already
going,
like tired
I'm
and
old. I'm a little
yeah.
tired too.
I was gonna say if we're gonna do a longer stream like that, we need to do it at a time where like all be
Yeah,
fresh.
I mean, I'm like nodding off a little bit because I did a really long work day, but
Lights.
I can power through another episode because I feel weird doing
Yeah,
just a one episode
yeah.
stream.
I think we're also a bit more focused than we were at the beginning of the stream. So yeah, let's get
Are we?
into episode 9.
Okay.
That's why I said let's get into episode 9.
All right. Ryuk is fiending for some apples. That's my first note. And then Ryuk is right. Ryuk is he's
We
getting the
need to
shakes 'cause
cook Light.
he threatens to kill Light, and Light just laughs it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you don't give me an apple, I'm gonna kill you. And Light's like, yeah, sure you will, buddy. Sure you will. Just, uh,
It's like somebody threatening to kill their right? Because if he kills Light, then he has to go back to Shinigami world.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like basically, yeah, that's like jail for him. So he basically has to go to jail if he kills Light, which is pretty funny to think about. Um, the Light is out here playing 40 chess with a grandmaster and holding his own. What's that note about?
But yeah,
Because Because isn't that because L just couldn't come up with anything? And like they surveyed Light for another however many days, and they still turned up nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
L was basically like, well, but Kira would be smart enough to have like figured out some way to know he was under surveillance, and
Mhm.
uh, and because of that, this won't actually reveal to me anything. If he was able to hide it this long, he's gonna be able to hide it perpetually. Is essentially L's mentality, which is funny because I don't know how true that is.
Wait, what are
Let's
we
go
talking about?
gambling, yeah.
Well, I think Light would have figured out some way to kill more people, but would he be able to like kill the simple fact that the deaths would obviously decline because he can't like, kill them immediately in the same way. Like he doesn't have the same level of freedom. He would have to like only kill them while he's out of the house
Ah, yeah, true.
where he can't be surveilled.
But that
Like
also
it
would
does
be
kind of
that would also look suspicious though.
yeah, yeah,
So
because it would be like, okay, that's weird. There's never like or rather, no, well, because he can control the time of death, but still, it would be weird that, oh, hey, Light seems to be leaving the house a lot.
yeah.
All of a sudden, which his dad would know would be unusual.
I just want to let you know, Lulu, that I've been staring at this dancing mandrill for like an hour now. It's like starting to make me go a little cuckoo. I
um
just have it like underneath your head, so it's just staring me in the eyes.
You know,
I can't.
I find it funny that Iron is keeping that apple from Lulu.
The apple?
Yeah, how could you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
In the
because
In
I'm
that,
holding up
yeah.
an apple. Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
back to the series. Yeah, I just think the whole thing was kind of risky on
Also, the
both
5 o'clock
parts.
shadows got even more distinct in this episode, which I thought was another nice touch.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
Also, I love the scene we open on with because we get Ryuk and Ryuk's like walking all weird and
yeah,
like
that's what I meant when he
Yeah.
was fiending for some apples. He was getting like the shakes and like doing handstands and shit. He,
I need my
like
fix.
he was going through he was going through it, buddy. Like he was all the emotions of withdrawal, and he was just taking it all out in Light. Like he's like, "I'll kill
yeah,
you."
he's like hopping on one foot basically. So it's just extra funny because we know he can fly.
Is Ryuk's outfit just like fully leather?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he rocks that shit.
Yeah. Voice crack.
So L still believes there's a 5% chance that Kira's a member of those two families, despite having no evidence to prove it. And then L starts to
Yeah.
have a bit of an existential crisis as he stares into his coffee and wonders if Kira actually is a god. He's like, no, a god wouldn't need a name and a face. He's something else. He's like basically has delusions of grandeur. He's Sentry.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's interesting because his logic for why Kira isn't a god is kind of sound too. Because it's like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, like, why would
why
a
would
god need a name and a face to kill? Like, he would just be able to smite anyone he wants.
well, not
Yeah.
yeah, and not only that, it's like, oh, okay. Also, like, why would, for example, there's like so many like things you could point to. Like, why would he also need, for example, why would he have been killing my body double that was airing in the Tokyo area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just a wild thing. Like, it would just be a wild thing. Like, oh, like it's the idea. I do like that the idea is entertained because I feel like you would have those thoughts of like, what if this is like something I can't actually fight? Because they're already using like supernatural powers to kill things.
Yeah, I mean, basically their conclusion right now, it's like either like super high tech that's indistinguishable from magic or magic.
Yeah, basically, and it's they they know for a fact it is a thing that happened. Like, there's, there's no coincidence to this, especially with how like
Because the way Light's been
how
going
to
about it,
say.
he made it damn sure. Because he could have probably gone years without
Well,
anyone noticing. Because
yeah,
like if
but he want that's the thing he wants
he
to be
wants people to
worshipped.
know, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he
it's a
wants
god
people to
complex and all
know, and
that.
that's like Light's biggest like
Isn't
flaw.
that like a common thing with a lot of serial killers? They want people to know that
Yeah.
they're doing something. That's why they have like
Uh,
a calling card or whatever they call it.
so
Yeah.
it's a lot of serial killers. The thing most people don't know is the vast majority of serial killers are never.
Whatever what?
The vast majority of serial killers are never.
What?
Yeah, the vast
You
majority of
keep
murders
cutting
in
out.
general are
You
never.
keep saying the vast majority of serial killers never, and then your mic cuts out.
They're never caught.
Oh. I thought you were making a joke that they're never cut and your mic was cutting. I was very confused.
Yeah.
No, no, I was leaning away because dog was chewing on something I didn't want him to chew on.
Oh.
Pit bull activities.
He's a French bulldog, but yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Girls are racist against dogs.
Yeah, because monkeys and
Bro.
dogs famously get along. They fight each
Hey,
other
they
in
do
Asia and Africa.
once the dog has finished chewing on you.
I don't know. A mandrill would probably be able to beat a dog in a fight, and the mandrills are pretty big.
It probably would depend on the dog, right?
I don't know any dog that could probably because a mandrill is basically like a dog with thumbs, so it could just like dig into its eyes and scratch it up and like pick it up and slam it.
I don't know. Most mandrills I know are pretty stupid. I don't know if they
Yeah,
think
yeah,
they're
yeah. I mean, basically, I mean, a mandrill will beat a chimp in a fight. A chimp can like rip a person's arm off. So
Yeah, but if you're talking about some of the bigger like breeds of dogs, some of those things can like tear out someone's throat really
yeah,
easily
so
or
could a mandrill. It's got the same
crush
kind of teeth.
bones
Oh
and
my
stuff.
god.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the show?
Sorry. We're doing like one of those like shows they show on like National Geographic or whatever. What would win, a mandrill or a Great Dane? Find out at 9 o'clock.
100
100 chips versus a
versus a mandrill.
mandrill.
100 pit bulls versus a
Wait.
mandrill.
What is this like a Lily Phillips situation or?
100 pit
What?
bulls versus one toddler.
Iron, do you not know who Lily Phillips is? That's the chick who got fucked by 100 guys.
Well, I thought that was Bonnie Blue. Is that the meme?
No. There's two.
Oh, great.
The one
Of
with
course
the
there is.
documentary was Lily Phillips.
We live in a society, am I right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
but yeah, I was just joking that Iron's getting fucked by 100 chimps.
This is like the most unhinged podcast I think we've ever had. Uh,
It
I
really
know
is.
it
100
says
owls
like
versus one light.
undead, unhinged, and unfiltered.
Yeah, true.
So which one's which? So I guess Lou's undead. Am I
I'll
unhinged and
be.
Rangi's unfiltered? Is that what it is?
Hey, I
Yeah.
have not said the N word today.
Oh my. Moving
Today.
on. Light's plans on using his father's connection to L to rid himself once and for all of, or Light plans to use connections. Light plans on using his dad's connections to L to rid himself once and for all of L, and then he'll be one step closer to becoming the god of the new world. I love how like L dying is just a stepping stone to him ascending to his like
Yeah.
a
I think he assumes
irreachable
that.
throne.
Yeah. I think he assumes once Al dies, like the investigation is just over. Like no one's gonna be
Well,
able to find him anymore.
yeah, well,
So
I mean, it's pretty sound logic, right? It's like if he can best the world's best detective, what shot does anyone else have? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because like L is considered by everyone to be the world's best detective. So like if
yeah,
L dies, there's no way he could lose, right? Anyway,
exactly.
Light plans on using. Oh God, I keep reading that same note. Dog, this is so bad. I'm losing it, Lulu. I'm losing it.
No,
Light is taking his important final exam that is integral to getting into college, and he just casually strolls in. Everyone else is like super nervous, and he just sits down, just like all casual and cocky, and then gets like kind of like a chill down his spine, and he like feels like someone's watching him, and he turns around, and Light makes eye contact with L for the first time, and like, dude, this scene like gives you
yeah,
chills, man. Like the framing and the music is just like, oh my god, it gets me every time.
yeah. The screen is
It's just done
crazy.
so
Or
well.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like so intense for no reason. Like it's just like two guys looking at each other while taking a test. It's like the meeting of gods kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah,
we also was that it, or was it the teacher pointing out like, hey, you need to sit
Oh
normally.
yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Well,
Because
he
that's
was
why he looks
staring.
back. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, Light L
And
was
that's when he
staring
gets the
at Light.
chills, and then we get peak fucking autistic gremlin L.
Yeah, he's not wearing shoes, right?
He isn't. No, he. They actually show several shots of his feet in like a weird
Oh,
way. I was
yeah.
like,
I
so
don't know
weird.
why they do that a lot. I don't know
I know
why.
why. I know why.
Japanese people have foot fetishes, obviously.
Well, I mean,
I was gonna
the
say
guy who did
the
Naruto actually
manga
did.
creator
You know that?
probably has something there.
The
No,
Naruto,
no, no.
what's his name? Who's the guy who created Naruto? It's what's his name?
Quentin
Kishimoto, right?
Kishimoto?
Tarantino.
Yeah,
Kishimoto, I
Kishimoto.
believe.
Yeah, Kishimoto has a foot fetish. He's like admits to it. That's why he gives them
Well,
all sandals.
Quentin Tarantino has a foot fetish. He's not involved in
Yeah.
anime, so it's not
No,
Dude,
it's not a
Quint,
Japanese.
I'm
no,
waiting for
Quentin
the Quentin
Tarantino made
Tarantino.
Naruto. Made Naruto,
Yeah,
right?
I'm waiting for the Quentin Tarantino Kishimoto team up where they make the ultimate foot fetish story.
Yeah.
But
God.
I have always thought that the reason they focus on this is the idea is L is supposed to have these like weird, uncomfortable ticks.
Hmm. All right, I got distracted. The mandrel's still staring at me.
Stop
That
looking at
stupid
it.
dancing bitch. It's just on my
Stop
screen.
looking at him.
It's just there. Anyway, Death Note title card number 17. Oh, or do you want to keep talking about that scene?
No, we're pretty much
Uh,
done. Go ahead.
All right.
I was gonna say most of my commentary is just the mood that it is. You know.
Yeah, it's really well shot, really well like a sound recording. Like it's the mix of the framing, the lighting, the music, the artwork style. It's just it all goes together really well,
I
and it's just
I
very
think
intense.
it's the first hint of the thing I talked about earlier about like the aesthetics of our hero versus
Mhm.
our hero of the story versus our villain here.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, it's interesting because the hero of the story is L, but the protagonist is Light. So it's kind of like
Yep.
it's you don't there's not a ton of stories where you, or at least back then anyway, it wasn't as common. Now it's pretty common where you'll follow like the bad guy. But like in like 2003, that probably wasn't super common to like follow
Yeah,
around
I
the
feel
bad guy's
like it.
story.
Uh,
I'm not saying it was the first to ever do it, but it's definitely less of a trend 20 years ago than it is now. We get like shows like The Penguin and stuff that's like pretty common.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, obviously. Anyway, um,
it's not
so
that common now either. Like,
it's more common than it was, but yeah, it's still not
yeah,
the norm because it's harder to write for. It's harder to write the protagonist being a bad guy, yet you still want to root for him. You know what I mean? Because like
yeah,
you don't want a protagonist you don't want to root for. Like so like the fact that they make like you're able
you've
to make
entered
a serial
writing hard
killer like
mode.
Dexter or like
Yeah,
Light into
Dexter
a
is a
protagonist, you have
big
to
one.
write really well, and you have to make him charismatic, and like
Yeah,
you kind of have to like make it so that the show like even though you know what they're doing is wrong, you want to keep seeing them get away with it because you're just invested in how their story plays out.
Yeah, I would argue it is story writing hard mode. Make a
Yeah,
character that is like a complete vile piece of shit that
you
the
just can't
audience
help but
still has
like
a chance
look
to root
away or
for.
not look away. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really weird sensation rooting for the bad guy to get away with stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like you're like rooting for them to like kill like innocent bystanders and stuff. It's like it's just kind of odd if you think about it. But
Yeah,
Death Note title card number 17. We're halfway through 9. We're making good progress on this episode, luckily, because I'm getting tired. Um,
Yeah.
a god of death cannot be killed, and this is the one you wanted to mention earlier, even stabbed
Yeah.
in the heart with a knife or shot in the head with a gun. However, there are ways to kill a god of death which are not generally known to gods of death, which I wonder if that will ever be brought up. Hmm. Title card number 18.
Oh,
Maybe.
well, what do
Maybe.
you mean? It was already brought up on it.
Wait,
Yeah, it's
don't they just die if they don't kill humans for like a long ass
well they
time?
well yeah,
Well,
but
yeah, they have a
there's other
lifespan,
ways
but
though. But like
Oh, like ways
you
to like
literally
kill instead of like die
yeah
of
yeah.
natural cause, basically.
Kind of,
Okay.
yeah. I'm not gonna
Okay.
answer it too much, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because
there
basically
there's
you
a
would have to be
yeah
you would
there
have to be a suicidal Shinigami to die by not writing names in Death Note because each time you write a name, it gives you so much time. Like just writing Joe Schmidt could give you like 30 years, like
yeah.
so that you only have
Well,
to write
hell,
like
Yeah.
one name like every like so often. You know what I mean? Like
well,
basically like
hell,
once a
like
decade on average, probably. So like it's like all right, I'm good for another 10 years.
well, hell, you gotta remember, like the Shinigami don't see humans as like valuable. So if you like kill like a couple of like youngsters, you probably you can
You're good
go
for like the
even
century,
longer.
yeah. You could kill like
Yeah,
a bus full of school children and be good for like a millennia.
exactly. But
Death Note.
that's the funny thing too. It's like with how unmotivated the Shinigami are. I can believe most of them do that.
Was it ever confirmed that in Death Note that like humans wouldn't die without the Shinigami? Is that like a thing?
No, because the way it works with how the Shinigami expand their lifespan is their natural lifespan. They get the years off their natural lifespan based off when they write in the Death Note. So there is a natural lifespan. There's like,
I know that, but like I was just wondering if they kind of like their like Shinigami like magic system like set the lifespan. Like they're the gods of death, so like would they have kind of like
well, they
some
do
kind of
work for the old man. I don't know. I don't
is he
think
is
we
he
get
like the
any.
ultimate god of death and they're like angels of death kind of thing? Is it
I don't think they ever explain it. I
yeah, they
don't.
don't go into the Shinigami lore too much outside of how they relate to
No,
the Death
no.
Note.
They only vaguely mention the old man, so he could be the ultimate god of like death. He could
Death.
be Kami-sama.
Yeah. Anyway, but
Yeah,
yeah, they're all angels of death, which is all
yeah.
we really need to know about
When
them.
I say he could be Kami-sama, that is God.
Well, 'cause Japan, they have like multiple gods. Like it's not a
No.
monotheistic
That's
religion.
what they call the Christian God.
Oh, yeah, I doubt that's him, but I mean, maybe you never know. There is a
Yeah,
lot of Christian symbolism in this story, so it's not
Yeah.
impossible.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Death Note title card number 18. The conditions for death will not be realized unless it's physically possible for that human or is reasonably assumed to be carried out by a human. That means like if they could figure it out, right? Like that's what that last line
Yeah.
means.
Yeah.
Well, this is really interesting because I think this is there because of the talk the last episode about how what's her name would not have killed herself. She would have went out of her way to find who Kira was. Uh, she wouldn't have killed herself, but him writing that she commits suicide would cause her to commit suicide. So it has to be something they feel like it has to be something they physically can feasibly can do mentally and physically. Like you can't. I couldn't write that Iron shows up on time, for example.
Yeah, no, that's an impossibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to write Iron shows up 15 minutes late to the meeting and slips on a banana peel and cracks his out one.
Pretty much, yeah. If you tried to write that like the time of death to be when it started, like the laws of the universe would just break and I wouldn't die. uh, my tardiness is stronger than the power of the Death Note.
True.
I mean, yeah. Even though normally it's like, oh, if the conditions can't occur, they just die of a heart attack. No, if you would just be like, nah, we can't do it. Why? We can't find him. We expected him to be this place at a time. We tried to trigger a heart attack there. It didn't work. You're too late for the death note.
Oh my god, I keep writing Mile. It's like
Miles.
is he like pulling my leg? Did he bring up Mike Schmidt, the baseball player?
No,
Or is
he's
there like
talking
some
about.
other?
I know what he's talking about. He's talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, because Mike Schmidt is like one of the most famous baseball players of all time.
I
So
don't think
I was very confused.
I don't think he realized Mike Schmidt was a real person. I thought he was just a I think he thought like he was just a fictional.
Oh no,
character.
he's like a top like 25 baseball player of all time.
I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but we were at the college thing, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
And
We don't need to go on a baseball tangent. Neither of you guys know anything about sports.
yeah, well, yeah, I'm not. Well, I am gay, but that's beside the point. I was gonna say I'm not gay because I was gonna make a joke about sweaty men, watching sweaty men, but you know.
That's pretty gay.
Yeah,
No,
Mike Schmidt
true.
was a
Why do
12.
you do it, Iron? Because
Mike Schmidt was a 12-time All-Star, a 10-time Gold Glover, 6-time Silver Slugger, and 3-time MVP, and hit 548 career home runs. Mike Schmidt, everybody, most the most famous baseball players of all time. There's your little sports reference. Maybe I'll just start throwing in sports references to slowly culture Rangi and Lulu.
I swear, if you do, I'm just gonna kick you off the podcast, and it'll be me and Lulu.
I'll just spam your chat with sports talk. I'll get
Well,
Sano to join.
well, then I'll just show up at your house and beat you with a shoe.
What?
Weirdly
Dude,
specific.
this stream is it's been something, man.
Yeah, that's probably the cocaine. I mean, what?
The
Well,
what?
Nick, whatever his name is, the lawyer guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Oh,
buddy.
jeez, we're bringing lolcow lore into this. Yeah, Nick Rekieta.
Yeah, that's his name.
What? What?
He was like this. He's like this YouTuber who got busted for like having coke and neglecting his kids.
Oh, okay.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I think
He was
it's
about to
pretty
say
funny.
the N word.
Nick? His name's Nick. It's the name. Common name. Short for Nicholas.
Nick, what was
You're
his
not
last name
No.
again?
You're not allowed to say a name that starts with N-I anymore.
You know, I think his last name was Gurr, but I'm not sure.
Oh, there actually is this is okay, this is a funny baseball or sorry, basketball tangent. So there's this like famous basketball coach. It's like Coach Kerr, and he named his kid Nick, and it's a white guy.
He knew what he was doing.
Yes. So it's his full name is pretty much the N word. Yeah, it's and the craziest thing is a basketball coach, and like it's like the son's gonna be around like mostly black people. They're like, "What's your son's name?"
Imagine you're a basketball coach with that name. It's like, oh, who's on your team? LeBron James, you know, Michael Jordan. I don't know. I'm just saying random like
Well, I mean, LeBron
basketball
James was a
people
good
I know.
start since he's still in the league, but
What's the name of that guy who died? Kobe Bryant.
yeah, no, he's definitely not in the league anymore.
You don't know. Maybe he's just taken on an alien. Yeah, he fled to Argentina.
You know, there was a cartoon that had him die in a helicopter crash, like before he died. It's like weirdly specific.
That's just meme magic exists. This is a thing.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
a
Anyway,
joke exists, there's a weird potential
yeah,
for
The
it to
Simpsons.
come
The
true.
Simpsons is famous for it, and South Park to a lesser extent.
Hmm.
All right. So the Shinigami joked that Ryuk is ugly, which hurt Lulu's feelings.
Yeah, it's mean.
Didn't you
Uh,
say he was like cute or something, or like
He is cute.
bro? He's like Ryuk is like you get. Oh God, I'm just speaking gibberish right now. Lulu's like, I got your back, Ryuk.
Yeah.
But Ryuk said
Yeah.
he's excited and filled with joy that Light is now a college student, which is like probably the nicest thing he's ever said to Light.
Yeah.
well,
He's
I
filled with
think
joy.
the
I
funny
couldn't tell if
thing
he was being
is like
sarcastic or not.
I don't think he actually cares that much. But I don't know. It's weird. His relationship with Light is one of the really interesting. Like, how much investment does he have in Light?
Yeah, I think that the show kind of plays fast and loose with that, which is kind of cool. That like you never really know how much Light means to Ryuk, which I think keeps things interesting.
Yeah.
Because he obviously likes him enough to like help him out here and there, and kind of like make
Mm-hmm.
excuses why he's helping him out. But usually, a piece of it is that he just kind of wants to help the homie out because he finds him interesting and he wants to see the game go on more, and he just likes being around Light. And it's better company than the other Shinigami.
Well, I also feel like this might also be them kind of like memeing about like
How
so school
the
life is like
frivolousness of college or whatever.
no so school life is like a genre in anime, and this is a line that could absolutely exist in like a school life anime. So I think it's just kind of them making a little bit of a meme about that.
They're making a joke about like how like they Death Note could just be one of those like silly like school animes that like Assassination Classroom or something like that.
Yeah, kinda. Like, uh, there's plenty of like slice of life animes that would have like this as an arc, the college arc or whatever.
Yeah, and don't
Where
a
it's
lot of the
like it
slice of life
starts in
animes
their
kind of have like a like weird like uh variable to make it stand out? Like Assassination Classroom has a teacher who's an assassin alien
yeah,
thing.
Kurosama.
Yeah, and then
Kuro
like
Sensei. Kuro
you were
Sensei.
telling me there was like the one where it's like it's a zombie apocalypse, but they don't know it's a zombie apocalypse or something. Like,
So that one isn't really a school life anime. It's called School Life, ironically. But so one of the characters specifically essentially mentally broke during the zombie apocalypse, and so the school life element is all their delusion.
got it. It might be one we could
Yeah,
check out at some
and
point.
all the other characters are kind of playing into it because they know if they don't, then it's gonna break them more, essentially.
Got it. Yeah, we're talking
Yeah,
headset. We're talking about crazy people who think the zombie apocalypse is a schoolroom or something.
no, because it is actually so the school life anime actually is happening in a school. Like these are like high school kids who got caught in a zombie apocalypse. That's like the thing. One of them just believes the school life thing is still happening and just is delusional enough to not know that the zombie apocalypse is happening because it's like their coping mechanism. That's the idea
I,
of it.
I think I wondered what the ratio talking about Death Note and not talking about Death Note this stream is. This has got to be our worst one.
Yeah.
Right. This is probably our most ADHD episode.
Well, because I didn't like I'm too tired to like really stay on topic and like keep us focused, and then like I didn't take good enough notes to kind of like keep like plowing through. So it's just kind of like yeah, we'll talk about the show and then wander off and then wander our way back and just it's just
Yeah.
a big old shit
Well,
show.
we're halfway through. We're at the freshman address, I believe.
Yes, yes. So
Right?
right, Ryuk said he's excited and filled with joy that Light's now a college student, and Light and L both got a perfect score in all subjects, so that's why they're giving the little speech together.
Yeah, yeah,
And
because this is a thing, and also the university they're at is Toto University,
was
and
that
I
like the
believe it's
Harvard of Japan or something?
okay. So it's not an actual university, but in one of the other adaptations of Death Note, it's called Todai, which
Mhm.
is Tokyo University, which is the Harvard of Japan.
Got it.
Right.
So this is essentially it's like the WickDonald's sort of like thing.
John Wick has McDonald's. What?
What?
Oh, okay. So WickDonald's is a normal like anime thing where the idea of WickDonald's is because they didn't get like specifically sponsored they're by McDonald's. It's a common like way to have like a fast food chain that people will like realize, oh, okay, I know what you did there, but it's also like copyright, free because Japan doesn't have fair use. The fair use doesn't exist in Japan as a copyright idea, which is why anime companies are so, or Japanese companies are so zealous about copyright.
Yeah, Rangi, if you ever do make like a non-streaming video, I wouldn't start with covering anime because that's going to be a much bigger headache than covering like anything else. Because like they will ping your video for copyright for like showing like 10 seconds of like clip of something. Like it's like they will get you if you go over like
Yeah,
6 seconds. Even
yes,
then,
I know
sometimes you
that.
show like 4 seconds and they'll still get you.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I only use screenshots for my streams because streaming is even worse. How
Yeah.
the bots are generally tuned.
Who
Or,
uses
I mean,
screenshots for a video? Am I right? What a
well, yeah,
loser.
I meant for like
What?
streams, but
No,
yeah.
no,
I'm
only certain
talking about
videos.
my videos.
Oh, yeah.
My videos are mostly just images that get slowly zoomed in on.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, it's especially with iMovie, it's easier, but I will need to switch to something better soon. I just don't feel like I'm too lazy to learn like a new platform. I know if I want to step my game up off the Switch, iMovie's kind of
Yeah.
ass.
But yeah,
That's
Anyway,
fair.
either way,
Pixar,
yeah. This
Pixar.
is
I
like
hardly
a
know
big,
her.
yeah, this is a big thing. Like I don't know if it's a big thing in Japanese school culture necessarily. I've seen it in a lot of the whole like freshman representative thing. I have seen a lot of it. Probably a Japanese school like thing where it's like the top student gives like the address to the other students. I'm pretty it's a case of I can pretty confident it's a thing, but I don't know if it's a thing in real life or just
Yeah, I don't know. You're
yeah,
the weeb here, so you'll tell me.
yeah. I can believe it's a thing because it makes sense too. Like special, but yeah, the idea is like the freshman representative, and it's like the two people. You have two people who had a perfect score, so they're both giving the freshman address, and it's even kind of noted as like being unusual by all the students in the crowd.
Yeah, except for some random nerd who's like, I like the weird one.
Yeah.
No, it's like this random like nerdy
Nerdy girl.
chick with glasses.
Yeah.
But no, well, that's more on the count of she says that specifically more about like looking at the two, because you would assume two people who have kind of the aesthetic of Light, because Light has the look of an honor student, you know?
Yeah, and they note how like they couldn't appear any more different. Even though like they're just as smart as each other, they
Yeah,
they show it very differently. And then one of the things that always cracks me up is as L's giving the speech, his note sheet is blank. It's just another little funny quirk. He's just holding up a blank piece of paper like he's like the Kung Fu Panda or something. He's got the dragon scroll.
yeah, yeah. No, no, that's the funny thing because it's also talked about. Uh, when it comes to the thing, it's talked about how like the rumor is that like, both of them got perfect scores.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the only. Otherwise, they would. Well, I mean, they had the same score. Otherwise, only one person would be giving it. But like the
Yep,
fact that
yep.
they both got perfect scores, I mean, you can't like get more than perfect. So they kind of had to share the ceremony. But
Yeah.
yeah. After they go back to their seats is when things really get interesting. Elle confronts Light, and they're just kind of talking a little bit, and then after just like a couple normal lines of dialogue, he goes, "I'm Elle," and like this like flips Light's world upside down to like even more so than like any other bombshell revelation throughout the whole show. Like Light's like
Yeah.
mind starts like racing like frantically. Like in seconds, he's like thinking of all these different possibilities, and he's like, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, and he's like he's like losing his shit.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
it's
struggling to make composure, and Ryuk's like he does his little laugh. He finds this all
it's
very
fun.
funny.
It's funny, right? Because so like okay, you have L like waits until like the premiere. You go through like the whole address without like the notes, and he goes through it and just he's still like L throughout the whole thing, and that's the moment after they finish the address. That's when he like starts going like, "Oh, you're like Igami, the son of Yagami Soichiro, detective superintendent of the MPA. You know this, and this about you, your
Yeah.
past." And Light is almost like, "Who the fuck is this weirdo?"
Then he's like, I'm L, and then just
Well, yeah,
bombshell.
yeah, he doesn't say that yet because he almost like hypes it up like he's
Yeah.
like talking to
He's like,
Light about who he is and all his like personal information.
and then the way he
It's
says it too, it's like it's so eerie. The way he says I'm L. Oh boy, it's just like sends
well,
shivers
yeah,
down your
yeah,
spine.
because the way he does it is so I can tell you something secret about the Kira case. You want to know it?
Yeah,
It's like,
like you want to see my belly button.
yes. It's like Light is just like, I guess, and it's like I'm L.
Yeah, and then yeah, so Light the he's he kind of freaks out because like he's like is this a prank, like no, this wouldn't be a prank, that wouldn't make any sense, like this has to be like a real L, but like why would the real L show up like this, he's probably sending a decoy, but it's like if this is a decoy, like if I kill him the real L will know, and he's like that name is obviously a fake, and it's like if I write down that name and think of the celebrity, I could kill the celebrity, then he'll know, and he's like, oh, I can't touch him, he's like, ah, he's like, I'm screwed, and it's like he's
He's
really annoyed.
Yeah.
yeah, he's really annoyed because it's like it, Elle is dabbing on him. It's like, okay, I'm just going to reveal. But it's funny from Elle's perspective. It's like I'm just going to reveal myself, and uh, whether or not you know my face, it doesn't matter. You don't know my name. And it's almost also testing the hypothesis. I think it's partially also testing the hypothesis that he needs a name. I can believe Elle was like, well, if I die, well then
Mhm.
everyone, well then Watery knows who I went to meet,
Yeah.
and we know you need at least a face.
Hmm.
And we have a strong suspicion you need a name too. You know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
it,
so
it is really fun with that.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's all. I always like it when they go into their minds, like their hair lights up red or blue. You saw that
Yeah,
a
I
little
like
bit.
that.
It's really cool visually. You saw it a little bit with Naomi. They flirted with that. It's kind of like she was kind of like L light. I keep accidentally making that joke. um, She was she was kind of like proto L to kind of give like Light a little taste of what because she's got a lot of similarities of L, but she's not as good. But then you get
Yeah.
the real thing, and it's like it's the face off for real this time. Like he had the warm up with Naomi, now he's facing the real deal. Because
Yeah.
Ray Penbar wasn't much of a challenge for Light. He
Right.
dealt with him pretty easily. Ray
Yeah.
Yeah,
Penbar.
that's the interesting thing with this like kind of section of the show. It's like it is him kind of climbing the leaderboard, so to speak. Uh,
Yeah, I like it.
so he,
Yeah, because his first
he
challenge is Ray Bembar, like easy mode, and then he gets Naomi, who's like medium difficulty, and now he's on L, which is like insane mode or whatever.
well,
Yeah.
well, it is. Well, his first challenge is like the random like cops tied to the investigation, and then they start
Yeah,
like
well,
putting
that
him
that's a
Ray
what do they call
Bar.
it? That's not even easy mode. That's like gamer
Yeah,
journalist mode.
that's when you're like learning the tutorial or whatever,
No,
where
it's
you're
not even the
learning the
tutorial. It's literally like it's like you know how they make modes for game journalists because they can't beat it on like the regular difficulty.
the Cuphead
Yeah.
the Cuphead journalist guy. What's his name? Dean Takahashi. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, you can't play the full game on the journalist mode, right? And they got mad about it or something. Or there isn't an easy
Yeah.
mode. There's different things like game developers do to screw over game journalists, and it's very funny every time. I think there's not a more despicable occupation in game journalists. They're just like scum of the earth.
Oh,
Cough,
it's
cough,
one of those things where
IGN.
Yeah, they
yeah,
suck.
well, it's one of
It's just
those things
rage
where
bait,
can't
clickbait titles
you
every time. Seven
Yeah.
out of 10 for like the worst games ever.
well
Uh,
it's literally one of those things
Same with
where
movies.
yeah,
yeah
movies is
it,
not as bad,
it,
but it's still pretty bad.
yeah, it's like there's game journalist, entertainment journalist, which includes the movies, and then there's
Mm.
like actual journalist, and then
Yeah,
there's
they all
like
suck,
normal
but the
human
worst ones
being.
are game journalists. Like
Yeah,
they're
I
like
said,
a
and then there's
particular
like
kind of
normal
cringe.
Yeah.
human being above all of the levels of journalism.
Yeah.
I actually no, I'll put YouTuber just below normal human being, but above
Yeah,
journalist.
YouTubers are usually not the best company, right? It's like we're totally all just awesome people that don't defy the trends.
Yeah.
Nah, they're subhuman. What do you mean?
Yeah, we're all we're all paragons of moral virtue. Uh,
But yeah, it's uh, duh, but yeah, it's one of those things with this whole like situation. I've always loved the like blue hair, red hair dynamic with Light and L.
Rangi likes his women with blue hair.
No, I like my men with blue hair. Get
Ah,
it?
yes. You're
Oh
right. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
My mistake. My mistake. But yeah, so yeah, the red hair, blue hair, every time it's you're in for
It's
a good
cool.
scene when you get the red hair, blue hair juxtaposition and they're like doing their little mind games of each other. And it's like they're acting completely normal in real life and they're like, aha, I knew you would do that. It's like my suspicion of you just went up by 2%. He's like, only the
Yeah.
real Kira would know that this would mean. It's just like there's so many like really funny like parodies of Death Note because of the uniqueness of the writing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a very unusual format, and it's like it's very noticeable when you see it in other places. Like a lot, it's to the point where like people will say, "Oh, you're doing a Death Note," when you kind of have like the back and forth dialogue, like the way they do it in the show.
Right.
Well, one of the other interesting things I noticed is that so L keeps reducing the degree that he believes that Light is Kira as they're talking. And this goes into the next episode too, because I believe the next episode follows this, but he originally was like 10%, and then he was like 5%, and now during this like internal dialogue, he's talking about like how it's just under 5%, and then in the next episode, he refers to when he tells Light about how he thinks he's Kira, he says it's 1%.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's still like on this thread. It comes across as almost like L's understanding that there's something off about this guy, but I don't have any like logical reason to assume this is him.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean,
And I
the
have even less proof.
yeah the thought process of L, I think, is, I mean, Light's thought process is pretty interesting. Don't get me wrong, but I think L's is a bit more because you spend more time with Light, so you kind of have a better general feel how he react to things. He's also, as a dynamic of a character he is, he's kind of a bit more simplistic than L. I think L is a bit more nuanced because of he
Mhm.
still has a sense of moral. So like his thoughts on matters usually are, I find, slightly more interesting than Light's, but they're both very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because Light sees himself as like, well, think about it. Like he's basically set his view on himself as, oh, he is like the high school honor student. He's like the ideal sort of like person
Dude,
of his age group.
it's funny you say the high school honors student. It goes back to like the first or second episode. I think it's the first one where like Ryuk's like, well, if you kill all the bad people, you'd be the only bad person left. And then Light's like, what do you mean? I'm a high school honors student. That's his
Well,
reply.
yeah, that's why I said it.
Yeah, it's just like that line gets me every time. He's like, I'm not a bad person. I'm a high school honors student. Like, just to show
Yeah,
like where
yeah,
his
but
head's
well,
at.
what I mean, especially, this is one of the reasons I hate the American Death Note. Is like, so the mentality of like a Japanese sort of like there's a very Japanese mentality to it. So it's not like, uh, but like the honor student is very very often like portrayed as like a thing of like, well, obviously that person isn't a bad person because they're like an honor student. That's like a
Right.
normal thing in a lot of media when it comes to like Japanese media. To the point, it's also often like the reason why it's subverted. You know. It, I'm sure there's a good American equivalent I can make on it, but just in general, like light is everything. Light is like the ideal of the society for its like age group and status. That's the whole idea, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. He's everything society would like everything the average like Japanese person would want their kid to be. But he is that because he's like a complete sociopath, and so he's a chameleon.
Right.
But so is that do you have anything more to say, Lulu, for this scene? Because I'm ready to move on to the limo scene.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on.
All right,
Yep.
so
Yeah, we can move on.
the Light is like just kind of still mulling everything over when Watery shows up in a limo to pick Elle up. Elle's just pimping out his ride. He's like, I'll see you around, Light. Just
Well, yeah, at
really
this
flexing
point,
on
he's
him.
not really hiding it. You know, he's not
Yeah.
really hiding that he's
What?
either L or a body double of L. The most he's
Yeah.
doing is like, oh yeah, you. And I feel like there is a degree where I think L has a feeling this is Kira, and he's just dabbing on him at this
Yeah.
point.
Well, L's
And
enjoying this because he knows that Light really can't touch him. Because even though he knows he can probably kill him, then like it's GG's, and Light would know it's GG's if he killed him. So he feels pretty protected. Like he
well,
Yeah.
thinks,
the other thing was the light was on his way out, and then L approaches him and he's like, "Oh yeah, the pleasure was all mine," you know, like L is very much like he's not like hiding at all. He's just going out of his way to interact with Light, and you get the impression of he's like, "Hey, I'm paying attention to you, so go ahead and fuck up, please. Can't make my day."
Yeah. But also like
Go ahead,
if
punk. Make my day.
yeah, I like that Al doesn't care because he's like, I was like, oh, if I die, then everyone knows who Kira is and I win. So
Yeah,
he
but
didn't
it's a
care.
win-win for L. He either needles
Yeah.
Light until he breaks and finds out that Light's Kira. Um, uh, Kira kills him, and then he wins the game, or uh, Light isn't L, or Light isn't Kira, and he's in no danger. So all three outcomes are a win for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting, I find it interesting, like brief montage you get to after the scene, with you get like just a brief shot of the train. You know, Light is composed. You get like him right at the entrance of the house, because at
Yeah,
this
he
point he
calmly
has
walks up the
confirmation.
stairs. Yeah,
Yeah, because at this
like his
point it's
sister's like, "Hi,
confirmation all
Light."
the cameras are gone. Yeah,
Yeah,
the little sister's like, "Hey, Light," and actually the way welcome home, Toho University student. Like, because
doesn't he
the
just
idea is
ignore
like,
her
yeah,
though?
he
I
does
think he.
ignore her, but the her saying
Yeah.
that so the whole thing is like with a lot of like Japanese schools and stuff, there's a bit of like a key to them, so you can only getting into like a really good Japanese school is like really well regarded because they all like work off reputation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you need to go to good middle school in order to go to good high school. You need to go
I
to good
remember that being
school.
a thing in the haiku volleyball anime. I'm like, Jesus, like even in elementary school, they're thinking about like college. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
kinda. Yeah, it's
Because you have to
Japanese
get a good,
school
you have to get
system
in a
is
good,
very
you have to do well in
meritocratic
elementary
and
school to
hierarchical.
get into a good middle school, to get into a good high school, to get into a good college. Like in America,
To
like
get
we
a
don't care
job.
about anything before ninth grade. Yeah, they get a good job. Like in America, like everything before ninth grade doesn't count. Who cares?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
That's just how Japanese society is structured. I
Can
think
you
it's
imagine
I
from
think
like the
it's how
fourth
Korean
grade you have
society
to
is
like worry
society
about getting a
is
job essentially?
structured too.
Like every decision you make from like fourth grade onward can impact your ability to get a job. That's so much pressure.
Well, this is yeah, this is just how a lot of Asian cultures are. It,
Like, oh,
it's
it's like
one
you're
of those
10 years
it's
old, you're an
a
adult
very
now. It's basically Pokemon's like not far off from reality. It's like you're 10 years old, go catch wild animals, you bum.
well,
Yeah.
it's funny because technically speaking, high school is option. I believe high school is optional for Japan. It might have used to be. No, I might be talking about my ass. But from what
Like,
I understand, like, it's not uncommon for high schoolers to get jobs there or here. But like, I believe it's even that for middle schoolers there, and uh, but you actually need your school's permission to get a job too.
gotcha. Well,
Imagine having to appeal to like your teacher. So like, hey, I'm trying to get a job at the school of Donald.
that is crazy. So Ryu
Yeah.
calmly walks, or Light calmly walks to his room, shuts the door, locks it, and then basically just starts like crashing out. It's just like
Yeah.
pretty valid
Well,
crash out, to be honest, if I was in his
yeah,
shoes. But like he's just not having it, and like Ryuk's like, "Damn, Light, hell really got to you, huh?" Because like he's not used to seeing like get like this. He's usually so calm, cool, and collected, and like he's basically screaming, which I think is pretty interesting because like I would be like surprised if his like sister could at least like vaguely hear him.
I mean, she can. She wouldn't know the context. But the
Yeah, she
Yeah.
probably
the
might pick out an
interesting
odd
thing I
word here
know
or
is
there. She
when he
has like the
closes
TV
the
on. She's
door.
probably not paying attention.
When he closes the door, he immediately locks. It's like, and it's like such like a sharp action, if you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah, I know. I
he's
totally get
still
it.
holding himself. Yeah, he's still holding himself back, and it comes
And then
across
when he
as
sits
he's
down is when he
barely.
like crashes out.
Yeah, yeah. The-
And then
and then
Light and
you have Ryuko was like, yeah, you Light, you really got the.
yeah. And Light admits he's like, yeah, it got me. He like kind of puts his hands out, kind of like basically cuff him, right? He's kind of like it's a very like symbolic gesture. And he's like, I underestimated L, and he bested me.
Yeah.
And then he starts laughing maniacally because basically it's like Light's like, all right, you won this battle, but I'm gonna win the war. It's very reminiscent of when Light or L bested him for the first time when he underestimated him. When Light underestimated him when he kills the duplicate L on TV. So, and also that's like another safety precaution for L because he knows Light or sorry Kira wouldn't make the same mistake twice. Like he's not gonna kill another possible duplicate L. So like he's not gonna risk killing L. You know what I
So
mean?
yeah,
Like
he even details like kind of almost like the what his understanding of this like whole thing is,
mhm,
because it's like, oh, oh shit, yeah, he got me. I can't just kill him now because he's
yeah,
revealed himself to me. So even
yeah,
if the name he gave was the real one, and
mhm,
he's like, that's probably not true either. Uh,
yeah.
if I try to kill him, it plays into his hand because he's planned for this.
Well, I'm going to answer Broken's headset to basically end the stream. So he proceeds to maniacally laugh and accepts L's challenge to wits, vowing the best and kill him, saying he'll do it with his bare hands if he have to. So yes, headset, he will commit a Britain and shank L if he has to, because he's willing to strangle him.
Yeah.
Who's this Mandrillin person? Is that
I don't
you,
know.
Iron?
I
No,
don't
it's
know
not
who
me.
that could be.
Probably someone from Highmark.
Is that actually not you? Wait.
No.
Wait, hold up, hold up. You're dead ass, it's not you?
Oh, it's not me.
I,
You're trolling, you're trolling, you're trolling.
Oh, dude, it's not
you are
me.
so.
Who the fuck would it be then? Who is it?
Oh, there's a lot of people who would troll.
There's 4 people in VC and Highmark right now. It's definitely one of them.
Maybe.
Noob,
Who
Arkham,
is it?
Burger, and someone I've never heard of.
No, but they're doing a watch party for Silver Surfer.
Uh,
Wait, Daredevil the director's cut. Well, I don't know the
well, it's
other
probably
person.
Jam.
I don't
I
think
feel like Jam
Arkham
would
would
do it.
do it. Maybe Jam. No, I don't think Jam would give you money though, because he
Jam
doesn't.
wouldn't be an alt.
No, no. I think Jam is a filthy.
But
Hey, man, man, Drillin, type in chat right now. Type in chat. You have 5 seconds.
I was gonna
Okay,
say
it's
I
iron.
don't think
I
he's
It's
doing
assumed
it.
it
iron.
was
It's
probably
iron.
either.
It's iron. I knew it.
I assumed it was either
Headset
Iron
took
or a
the
family
mission.
member of his.
What? Did I ever tell you about my twin brother?
It's his name,
What's
man,
his
Drillin.
name? Is it Mandrillin?
No, I
Uh.
actually did have a twin brother, but like he died in the womb. So,
Oh, so you
only
ate
I
him,
came
is
out.
what you're saying.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so
It's like
you ate
I don't
him.
really like mourn him. I was not even born yet myself.
Yeah, so
This
you
is a
ate
weird
him.
thing to
You
end the
absorbed
stream
him.
with.
The small baby show.
It's secret iron lore.
Oh, this is another interesting thing, though, is Ryuk also uses this as an opportunity to offer the Light the Shinigami Eyes deal. Light is just like, no, that would just be stupid. If I kill him, then
Yeah,
everyone
he just
will
like
see.
puts Ryuk down in his place, and Ryuk's like, "Oh, he's just trying to help." It's like
Yeah.
he looked like he just got kicked. Like it's like Light basically just kicked the puppy.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we can kind of end it on that. Light kicks puppies.
He would
It hates
probably.
feds. I named one
Yep.
of my streams that Light Yagami hates feds. I think it was the
I
one where he
mean,
killed all of
yeah.
them.
Wasn't bad.
I
Of course he hates feds.
Yeah. I mean, that's base.
I just
Most
find
base thing
yeah
about Light.
I just love that about Light. It's like Light's like shit. No, literally can't kill him, and he knows that. That motherfucker. Now I have to
Yeah.
like deal with him.
Oh, dude, the next few episodes are just some of the most comedic in all of Death Note. Just like Light, like L, just like getting under Light's skin is just so funny.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, especially because like uh, it's really funny. Like Elle's big strategy here during the academy arc
It's
basically is
basically to
to be
annoy him into
completely.
messing up.
But not only that, he's
Yeah.
being completely honest. Is like because he knows like he knows that whether Lei is Kira or not, he knows why Elle would be here.
Yeah.
He's just
Well,
like,
also
yeah, I'm
L
Elle.
L's got nothing to hide, so like this is a much easier game for him, so he can enjoy it a lot more. Like Light's the one who has to be stressed out all the time.
Yeah, it's almost psychological warfare.
It is, and Light enjoys the challenge of it, but it's also like really pressuring for him. Where El's just kind of like, la la la. What is the percentage of Kira's guilt? Or the likeliness that Light is Kira? 5, 10, 1, 20. He's just kind of doing math in his head while like Light's like sweating. Like shit, that's something he know Kira would say, or oh, Kira would do this, but I can't do that. But if I do this, then it's just like, oh, those conversations are
Yeah.
funny.
Mental chess.
Yeah, 4D chess, 5D chess even.
5D,
All right,
yeah.
I guess we'll log our channels and then call it a day.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. Because the only other thing is detailing why this is kind of a solid defense because yeah, it's a trap, and all Elle has
It's a
to do
trap.
is like yeah, all Elle has to do is like reveal himself to the potential Kira suspect, and it's like, well, at this point, if he dies, if he dies immediately, that reveals more to your power.
I hope you know,
Also,
Lulu, that
like,
Mandrill is still
immediately.
staring at me.
Get it.
What time did you send it?
What the fuck? Did you just turn your camera on?
Did it work?
Yeah. I think we
No,
can
it was
probably just
loading.
move on to channel plugs.
Oh,
My name is Iron Mandrill. I make gay porn.
dude, I that's so lucky that I didn't have camera settings turned on because I accidentally hit the camera button. I almost doxed myself.
Oh, I
That would have
just
been
don't have a
awesome.
webcam.
Remember when Rangi, were you there when X did that? He just
Oh well,
accidentally turned his camera
well,
on.
it's funny because a lot of those guys have seen my face.
I haven't.
Because I used to use a camera back when I used a laptop.
But yeah, Lucas, you sent that at 9:09, and I've been staring at it ever since. So it's been an hour and 20 minutes looking at that dancing monkey. I think it's like put me into a trance. It's basically almost been a feature-length film of me watching this stupid monkey dance back and forth.
Damn.
God damn.
No, that was what you meant when you were talking about watching. I just assumed no, you were smart enough to just minimize the Discord thing.
No, I literally had it just looking at me for almost 90 minutes.
Yeah, there's a little like minus sign up in the top window that moves that from your site, so you don't have to look.
Well, I didn't do that. I endured the torture of the dancing man. That sounds like a really weird niche book. I endured the
Yeah, I
torture
didn't
of
know
the
you were
dancing
talking about the
mandrill.
one in the private chat. That's why I'm so
On sale
confused.
at Target now.
But yeah, like let's actually plug our stuff. Yeah.
Yes, I'm actually getting delirious now. Like I mean, I literally almost doxed myself on accident. All right, I guess I'll go first. I'm Iron Mandrill. I make good videos with shitty audio. Done.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
You can find my link below. Click on it if you must. Enjoy. That's my pitch. Your
Perfect.
turn, Rangi.
Alright. My name is Rangi. I do gaming streams and occasionally anime streams. It's only occasionally right now because well, I kind of forgot to do them the last month.
Baldur's Gate
But
3 featuring me.
but yeah, I do start streams on just those things mostly. I'm a streamer more than a YouTube. Uh, uh, I've been playing through Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I started that yesterday. So yeah, if you want to watch that game, look at that game, see if you want to buy it. I guess check me out. If you don't, then still check me out, and you know, uh, you know, check me out instead of Iron because I'm better.
Nah,
Lucas, you ever play Castle Crashers?
Castle Crashers?
Yeah, I was thinking
What is
at
that,
some
by the
point.
way?
It's it's a 4-person co-op party game that like it's like a story mode you can beat, and like there's a bunch of like different like knights and stuff with like different magical powers, and it's pretty simplistic combat, but it's like really cathartic, and the animation's really silly and fun. And it
I've
was a
never
really
played it,
popular
but I
game back in
want
the day.
to.
I was saying the three of us and Travis should do a playthrough at some point on stream it.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because like you
Cool.
could beat it in like 8 hours, so like four sessions or something like that. Like eight
Oh,
to ten
okay.
hours is not how long the game is. So it would be a good like little mini journey to like it. I mean, honestly, if you like really speed run it, you could probably. I mean, it's not an easy game to speed run because it's kind of like a linear path. There's not like a lot you can do to go faster, but like there's little tips and tricks you could. Anyway, it's not a long game. I don't know exactly how long it takes, but we could probably get it done in like 2 to 4 streams.
Yeah. Well,
And it's a lot of
either
like
way,
there's a lot of like fart gags and stuff. It's fun.
yeah.
Okay,
Either way,
sounds good.
yeah.
I have
Check
no
me
money, so
out.
your
Check
bitch
Iron
ass gonna have
out
I
to
can
buy
I
me
if
the game.
if you want.
I can buy the game no problem. It's like
Definitely
it's like
don't check out
it's
this
I'm pretty
Lulu
sure it's
guy.
like $15. So.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
definitely don't check out this Lulu guy, and definitely don't click the subscribe button with the bell or hit the
Don't
like
check out
button.
his
That would
awesome video on Miami Vice.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
still need to watch that, by the way. I've
What?
been meaning to.
Damn.
Or
Uh, it,
Hotline Miami. I said Miami Vice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say yeah, it is Hotline Miami. No, it's funny because I keep telling myself I need to do it, and
Well,
something
I mean,
else
it was
comes up.
You don't
Lulu
have
finally made a
to.
he finally made a video that I didn't care about getting spoiled, so I'm like, I can actually watch the whole thing this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Check it out. It was good. You'll like it. He wants Jack Black to play every character.
I do.
Ugh.
No. He wants you to play one character, right? It's probably the woman.
Yeah.
Rangi, you're the woman in the group. Your avatar looks like a
Why?
female.
Because I'm not straight. I'm the woman. Okay.
Your avatar looks like a woman, and you know it.
Well, that's because my avatar is a woman.
Well, there you
I,
go. I wasn't sure if it was a woman or a twink, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
no. The avatar is a woman. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Alright, we can end
well,
stream now.
yeah, we can end it. Bye.
Bye.